And brought to you live via St. Louis, Missouri. This is Bombers Game Mic. I'm Paul D, and we are coming to the end of Rain Delay Theater here in this first of four at Busch Stadium, where the St. Louis Cardinals are taking on the Chicago Cubs. And before I get into the details of this game, I do have a pleasant announcement to make. I put it on a community post earlier, and I cannot assume all of you have seen it, but I know over the last week or so, many have asked, and understandably so. And my good news to you is, starting with tomorrow night's game, Game 2 in this four-game set against the Cubs at Busch, I will be back on camera. The studio is nearly fully set up. It's got a few bits and bobs that need to be acquired before tomorrow's stream, and yours truly will be in front of the camera and behind the microphone. So I thank you all so much for your patience. And we are, according to the Cardinals, about 7 minutes away from scheduled first pitch, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And with that in mind, join the Game Mic roll call. Let me see where y'all are watching or listening from. Now, the starting nine for the visiting Chicago Cubs. Leading off in center field is Pete Crow Armstrong. Batting second out in right field is Saya Suzuki. Batting third at third base is Alec Bregman. Batting DH and in the number 4 hole is Kelly. Batting fifth at first base is Michael Busch. Batting sixth at second base is Nico Horner. Batting seventh out in left field is Ian Happ. Batting eighth at shortstop is Dansby Swanson. And batting ninth behind the dish is Amaya, the starting nine for the visiting Chicago Cubs. Now, for the St. Louis Cardinals, this is going to be a familiar lineup here, considering what they've thrown out there the last couple of days. You may find it familiar yourself. Batting leadoff at second base is the NL rookie sensation J.J. Weatherall. Batting second out in right field is Jordan Alexander Walker. Batting third behind the dish is Ivan Herrera. Batting cleanup at first base is Alec Burleson. Batting fifth at shortstop is Mason Wynn. Batting sixth at DH is Nelson Velasquez. Batting seventh out in center field, no Nate Church against the lefty Peterson, is Jose Fermin. Batting eighth in left field is Lars Nootbaar. And batting ninth at the hot corner is the Rook, Blaze Jordan, and that's your starting nine for both teams. Now, starting for the Cardinals tonight is the off-maligned and many times frustrating, given his seeming inconsistencies on the mound, the 26-year-old left-hander Matthew Liberatore, who in 20 games this year has a record of 5-7, an ERA of 5.18, over exactly 99 innings pitched, 95 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.52. We know the story with Matthew Liberatore. Now, going for the Cubs tonight is their 30-year-old left-hander David Peterson, former New York Met. In 20 games in the 2026 season, David Peterson is 5-7 with a 5.97 ERA in 89 innings pitched exactly, 74 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.56. Not terribly dissimilar numbers between the two lefties facing off against each other tonight. Now, join the Game Mic roll call. Let me know who y'all are watching or listening from. We are, according to the Cardinals, a little over 3 minutes away from scheduled first pitch. And here comes a $1 super from Jeff Coleman. Thank you so much, Jeff, for your generosity. It is both deeply appreciated and very helpful. Cannot thank you enough for that, Jeff. Thank you. But getting past all of Rain Delay Theater and the action in the comments, one thing I can say, because I saw it here earlier, of course, is Ronald Lyle. Cheers to the Green Mountain State. Good evening, Cardinal fans. Hopefully you get a win tonight. And mash that like button and subscribe. I hope you are well, Ron. Let's see. David Hodge. All day, can't wait to get in the win column. And you know, that's one thing that the Cardinals have actually done pretty well this year, is get in the win column against the Chicago Cubs. They've won the last two series they faced them, both at the end of May at Busch and over the Independence Day weekend earlier this month up on the north side of Chicago. And I'd like to thank you all so much for your patience. Jimmy, hi, Paul and everybody. Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? Jeff Coleman updated the profile pic to a jersey I had made some years ago. Cheers to that. Doge Bowl, like, subscribe, share. Good to go. Good to go. All right. We are only a few minutes away here from scheduled first pitch. The game feed has not yet come on Cardinals.tv. I'm getting the 4 boxes of other games here at the moment. Philadelphia, Miami, Toronto, Washington, Orioles, Detroit, Arizona, Pittsburgh, you know, that kind of stuff. However, MLB Game Day has fired up, and at last check, the weather seems to be clearing enough to play baseball. Haven't seen any visuals yet from Busch Stadium. Last time I did, the tarp was most certainly on the field, but they have made it very publicly, both on Twitter/X or whatever they're calling it now, and on Cardinals.tv, that the action should be getting underway around 8:30 p.m. So it's really wonderful to see you all tonight. Let's see here. Roger Bassman, Warface Redbirds. Let's go. All about that. Okay, Anthony. Greetings, Bombers. Let's go, Cards. Cheers, Anthony. Ron Lyle, I am well indeed. Your stream helps me concentrate on my job, makes my night go by quicker. Well, I'm really happy to hear that, Ron. I always find it really cool when people decide to share with me, you know, how they take in the game. Some people do it at work. Some people do it when they're doing stuff around the house. Some people are listening in the car when on a road trip. I think that's all really cool. Dennis Gildersleeve checking in from Illinois. Tennessee Bigfoot. Paul D, the man, the myth, the legend, and all at once Bigfoot. And we are here. We have the feed from Busch Stadium. The Cardinals are on the field. They're wearing their traditional home top whites and bottoms with the standard red ball cap with the white interlocking STL on the front. On the bump is none other than the highly inconsistent Matthew Liberatore, who, interestingly enough, you wouldn't believe this because it's very different than it is for him compared to other members of the rotation. He actually pitches better for the Cardinals on the road than he does at Busch. I can't make it up, but here we are. Let's see. Siblings Gaming. My dad and I are rivals. We have this tradition. If the Cubs do not make it, he would go for St. Louis. If St. Louis didn't make it, I would go for the Cubs. A tradition going for years. That's awesome. I really love hearing that sort of stuff. Ron Lai, we beat teams we shouldn't and lose against the teams we should beat. Time to beat the Cubs. Well, I'm all in favor of that, no doubt. Joe Breeding. Good evening, brother. Good evening, Joe. Alan, why was there a delay? Simply put, rain in the area. I gave you the numbers on Matthew Liberatore just a few moments ago. 5-7, 5.18 ERA, 38 walks against 95 strikeouts. He throws a four-seamer, a slider, a curve, a changeup, a sinker, a cutter, and a split-fingered fastball. Most of what he throws is four-seam fastball slider, but when he gets the hook involved, it really works. Stepping into the box is PCA. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. just about ready to begin here. The first of 4 this week. There's Craig Counsell, every Milwaukee Brewers' favorite ex-manager. Ask Corey about that. Into the box is Pete Crow Armstrong. On the bump is Liberatore. I am behind the mic. He comes one, the first pitch. A 4-seam fastball on the outside corner, roll of the ball, and we are underway. It is a 1-0 count. Liberatore looks in. He comes wide, the 1-0. A 4-seam fastball well upstairs and out of the zone, 96 miles an hour. The count is 2-0. Pete Crow Armstrong hitting .290 this year. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the first, no score. He comes one, the 2-0. Strike, 4-seam fastball whispers over the black of the outside corner below the belt. And the count is 2-1 to Pete Crow Armstrong. Now, he comes one, the 2-1 offering. Check swing, foul ball on the cutter, down and in, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hey, flat smack, good to see ya. Pete Crow Armstrong hitting .290, 23 home runs, 60 RBIs in 105 games, a .932 OPS. Really putting together a fine 2026. He wants a 2-2. A 4-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. So we're finally done with rain delay theater here. I don't think it's going to be getting in our way the rest of the night, but don't take me to court on that. He winds the 3-2. Ball 4 on the slider up and in, so Matthew Liberatore issues a leadoff walk to Pete Crow Armstrong, and the Cubs have a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the first inning. Now here is Seiya Suzuki hitting .265 on the year. It'll be a lefty versus righty matchup. 18 home runs, 58 RBIs, and 827 OPS. From the stretch is Liberatore. Runner leads off first. Here's the pitch. A slider up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. So far, it would appear that Matthew Liberatore, at least in the very, very early going, have a little bit of trouble there with the strike zone. Pete Crow Armstrong leads off first, following the leadoff walk. From the stretch is Liberatore. He deals a 4-seam fastball up and in and out of the zone. Counts 2-0. So I hope you all are having a wonderful Monday night. Rain delay notwithstanding, I'd like to thank you all for spending part of it here with me on Game Mike. Runner leads. It's a 2-0 count. There goes Pete Armstrong. He throws over to first with a pickoff move. They have him in a pickle between first and second. He throws back over to first. In the pickoff throw there is Ivan Herrera, who actually puts the tag on him, throws it back to Burleson, who then puts on the tag for the first out of the inning. So Pete Crow Armstrong gets picked off first base for the first out of the inning. Oh boy, Matthew Liberatore, a left-hander with a pickoff move that needs to be respected. Pete Crow Armstrong just getting a little bit too aggressive there. Can't get out of the pickle. They close the vice on him. So it's a 2-0 count to Seiya Suzuki with 1 out, nobody on. Top of the first inning, no score. Behind the dish is Ivan Herrera being receiver and battery mate to Liberatore. He comes one, the 2-0 offering. Fouled straight back on the sinker away, and the count is 2-1. So now that was very much like announcing for a horse race. I rather enjoyed that. Liberatore is back onto the bump. Suzuki back in the box. Herrera setting up inside, the 2-1. Hit foul down the first base side. Now to play on the 4-seamer in. The count comes even at 2-2. Good to go, Harold. I hope you're well. Yeah, the Benny Hill music would have been perfect there. It's a 2-2 count. Coming winds Liberatore, the 2-2. Hit on out there into left field. And it falls in for a base hit. It goes into the corner. Picking it up out there is Lars Nootbaar. Suzuki will go into second with a stand-up 1-out double here in the top of the first inning. I see Bloom traded Roykopf to Tampa for a Double-A pitcher. Yeah, yep. And Yoel Pozo also got claimed off of waivers by the Orioles as well. So nobody is going to miss Roykopf. Yoel Pozo was fine, but he didn't have a place after Jimmy Crooks came up. Suzuki leads off second. Now here's Alex Bregman, lefty versus righty matchup. The first pitch. A curveball well upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Alex Bregman hitting .234, 10 home runs, 44 RBIs in 102 games, a .682 OPS. Suzuki, he leads off second. From the stretches, Liberatore sets at the Birds, the 1-0. Strike, cutter right down Broadway below the belt. And the count is 1-1. So an interesting top of the first so far. A fair amount of action. Suzuki leads. It's 1-1 count. Liberatore sets at the Birds. The 1-1. Strike. Curveball on the inner third below the belt. Bregman is not happy with it, but he's also not challenging it. And now the count is 1-2 strikes. Now, looking in is Liberatore. Suzuki leads. He comes set at the Birds. The 1-2 to Bregman. Hit to the left side and past a diving third baseman into left field for a base hit. Scoring easily is Suzuki going into second with a sliding one-out RBI double is Alex Bregman, and the Cubs now take a 1-0 lead. So, an RBI double for Bregman. It looked to either be a slider or a curveball down and in. It was not in the middle of the zone. It just stayed fair. Blaze Jordan tried to give a headfirst diving stop, couldn't get to it. Now here is the cleanup hitter and catcher Kelly. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike of the curveball down and in, and the count is 0-1. Carson Kelly, 257, 6 home runs, 36 RBIs in 77 games, a .723 OPS. Bregman leads off second. Coming set is Liberatore. He deals. A four-seam fastball inside ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Liberatore is back onto the bump. Bregman leads off second. Sets at the Birds. He deals. A curveball down and into Carson Kelly, and the count is 2-1. 18 pitches so far for Matthew Liberatore. Not exactly economical. He takes a couple of pops of the rosin bag. Let's see if he matches the total of how many times he picks that up compared to Kyle Leahy yesterday. Now, coming set is Liberatore. The 2-1. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away to Carson Kelly, and the count is 2-2. Glad the pressure of a shutout is gone. Infield defense clearly shaded towards left with the righty Kelly. They are largely playing back. He gets back in the box. Coming set at the Birds is Liberatore. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3. Down goes Carson Kelly for the second out of the inning. Defensive alignment for the Cardinals. Newton left, Fairmead in center, Walker in right, plays Jordan at third, Wynn at short, Weatherald at second, Burleson at first, and Ivan Herrera, battery mate to Matthew Liberatore, who's on the mound. That's your defensive alignment tonight for the Cardinals. Runner leads off second. Now here is Michael Busch, lefty versus lefty matchup. Here's the pitch. A sinker just too low on the outside corner, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Michael Busch, 247, 13 home runs, 56 RBIs in 104 games, a .772 OPS. From the stretch is Liberatore. The 1-0 to Busch. Four-seam fastball clear outside, and the count is 2-0. In terms of all-time, Michael Busch is fourth for having the highest slugging percentage when hitting against the Cardinals. That's since 1901. Come in set. The 2-0. Strike, sinker on the outside corner, thigh high, and the count is 2-1. Infield defense clearly shaded towards right with the lefty Busch. Coming set is Liberatore at the Birds. He deals. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play, and the count is even at 2-2. Next pitch is going to be Matthew Liberatore's 25th on the evening. He certainly has to limit the damage right here. On second is Alex Bregman following his one-out RBI double. Scored Saya Suzuki from second. Now, coming set is Liberatore. He deals. Called strike 3. Four-seam fastball on the outside corner. For the third and final out of the inning. So, 1 run on 2 hits. No walks. Correction, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 1/2 inning of play, it is the Chicago Cubs 1 and the St. Louis Cardinals coming to bat. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. All right, let's go to the chat. A lot of the whistle time stuff out there. Justin Beasley, good evening, chat. Well, welcome to the stream. Be sure to drop a like and please subscribe. We're less than 100 subs away from 1,300. Yeah. Your sub really means a lot and helps the channel immensely. Cheers, Justin Beasley. It does it that. Whistle time. Let's get that run back. I sure hope so. Doge Bowl digging the whistle. All right. Let's see here. All right. Cards Clips. I'm calling the big game for JJ. Well, Cards Clips, I can only hope you are right. He'll be going out there against Patterson. The last time the Cardinals came up against Patterson was in the first of the 3-game set over the Independence Day weekend. He went 3 2/3 innings, and I believe gave up 10 earned runs that afternoon. In addition to not playing well, the wind was going out towards center field at about 10 miles an hour. When the wind is blowing out at Wrigley, things happen, to say the least. All right, we are back for the bottom of the first inning. David Patterson will be on the bump. Leading off is J.J. Weatherall. On deck will be Jordan Alexander Walker. So we're standing by for J.J. to get into the box. David Patterson, 2-1 in 4 starts, a 5.57 ERA, 8 walks against 11 strikeouts. Lefty versus lefty matchup. The first pitch to J.J. A sinker on the inside corner below the belt, ruled a ball. It looks to be challenged there by the catcher. He throws a sinker, a 4-seamer, slider, changeup. What's the ABS has to say? Indeed, it's in fact a strike, so the call is overturned, and the count is 0-1. The Cubs are wearing their standard road gray tops, gray bottoms with the light blue cap and the red C on the front. Time was granted temporarily to J.J. Weatherall, who's back into the box. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the first. The 0-1. Strike. Curveball on the inside corner, thigh high, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. So Peterson has Weatherall in the hole here. 0-2's got to play some defense. Weatherall's hitting .253, 15 home runs, 40 RBIs. The pitch. Hit on out there to left field and in for a base hit. So a leadoff single to left by J.J. Weatherall here at the bottom of the first inning. And the Cardinals have a runner on first. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. It is a 1-0 Cubs lead following the Alex Bregman RBI double in the top of the frame. Now here comes Jordan Walker. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first. From the stretch is Peterson. He sets out the letters and deals. Strike. Sinker on the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-1. Jordan Walker's hitting .286, 22 home runs, 77 RBIs in 103 games, and .856 OPS. From the stretch is Peterson. JJ leads off first. Here's the pitch. Strike, sinker on the outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-2, almost identical to the previous pitch. Peterson looks in. He comes set at the letters. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. Everybody take a drink. He's back into the box. Peterson sets. The 0-2 offering. Swinging strike, 3 on the sinker away for the first out of the inning. So Jordan Walker goes down hacking. That was on the outside corner. It was not down, just in case anybody was wondering. Defensive lineman for the Cubs, Happen left, PCA in center, Suzuki in right, Bregman at third, Swanson at short, Horner at second, Michael Busch is at first base, and Carson Kelly, the battery mate behind the dish, and the battery mate to Peterson on the mound. The first pitch to Herrera. A four-seam fastball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Ivan Herrera hitting .244, 12 home runs, 44 RBIs in 104 games. He's begun to start heating up in his last 2 games against the Reds. Lefty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first with 1 out. He throws over to first, taking less than a nothing lead is J.J. Weatherall. And the count remains 1-0. Infield defense shaded towards left with the righty Herrera. He comes set. The 1-0 offering. A four-seam fastball well up and in. Get it out of the way. That one was Herrera, and the count is 2-0. It's been 2 games since the last time Ivan Herrera got plunked. Before that, it had been a streak of 14 games. Got broken up on Friday. Coming set is Peterson. He holds. He deals. And there goes J.J. Weatherall. There's a throw. There's the play at second. And he is safe at second. J.J. Weatherall manages to steal second on the 2-0 pitch. It is ruled a ball. It's 3-0. So J.J. Weatherall puts himself in scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. And it was a very good throw there by Kelly behind the plate, but he just got too good of a jump. Now, coming set is Peterson. It's a 3-0 count. He deals. Strike, sinker, whispers over the black of the outside corner at the knees. The count is 3-1. And stepping off the bump there for a moment is Peterson, trying to get on the same page as Carson Kelly. Herrera's back into the box. Weatherall leads off second. He comes at the stretch. He deals. Hit foul and over towards the Cardinal dugout into foul territory. He makes the catch, does the first baseman Michael Busch for the second out of the inning. So Ivan Herrera fouls out for the second out. And here is Alec Burleson, the burly first baseman for St. Louis, hitting .289 with 15 home runs, 71 RBIs in 104 games, and .820 OPS. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off second with 2 out. Bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Cubs. Coming set is Peterson. He deals. Swinging strike on the sinker downstairs. Swinging over the top of that one was Burleson, and the count is 0-1. Let's go Burley indeed. Runner leads off second. Coming set is Peterson from the stretch. The 0-2. Hit on up the middle. Picked up there by Dansby Swanson behind second. He throws to first in time to get Burleson for the third and final out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit. No walks. 1 man left on after 1 full inning of play. It is 1-0 Cubs going to the top of the second inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. Burley can hit a softball a long way, among other things. Alrighty. That's a good question, Bigfoot. And apparently the answer is yes. Okay. Some of these blokes are getting traded. I mean, that's definitely seems to be what's in the air in terms of the scuttlebutt. I can say that much. Oh, boy. So how's everyone doing tonight? Are you all well? Are you happy to be here? Was it a good Monday for you? I had a pretty decent one. A lot of work here in the studio getting it ready for getting back on camera tomorrow night, which I am so looking forward to doing. My ideal lineup would be JJ Wynn, Walker, Burley, Yvonne, Newt, Blaze, Fermina, DH, and Nate Church. Harold, doing well, Paul. Thanks. Hey, I'm glad to hear it, Harold. Doge Bowl, like. I'm all about that Doge Bowl. So we're awaiting the top of the second inning. Matthew Liberatore will be out for his second frame. Due up for the Cubs in the top of the second inning is going to be Nico Horner, Ian Happ, and Dansby Swanson, 6, 7, and 8 in the Cubs order. Matthew Liberatore managed to limit the damage there, and he's back out to the bump, and we're back to the action. I appreciate that, Justin. Now, stepping into the box is Nico Horner. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. And the umpire has delayed something temporarily here. He's having a little bit of word there with Matthew Liberatore. It looks like he's having an issue with the pitch comm, perhaps. So, a technical delay. And one of the bat boys are running out a new one to him. As he puts it back into his cap, the newest variety, he gets back onto the bump. Nico Horner's hitting .247 this year in 413 at-bats. The first pitch, hit to the right side and through the hole into right field for a leadoff base hit for Nico Horner, and that'll put a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the second inning for the Northsiders. 26 pitches so far for Kyle Leahy. And for Matthew Liberatore, they're showing highlights of Kyle Leahy from yesterday. What can I say? It happens. Now the first pitch to Happ. In the dirt, blocked there by Herrera. Staying at first is Nico Horner, and the count is 1-0 as a curveball down and in the dirt. Ian Happ has absolutely made a career of hitting against the Cardinals, to say the least. This year in 327 at-bats, hitting .220 with 18 home runs. 1-0. Strike, changeup on the inside corner above the knees. The count is 1-1. It's a lefty-righty matchup. Yeah, he's hitting .220 with 18 home runs, 45 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases. The .758 OPS is Ian Happ. Come in set, the 1-1. Chop foul down the third base side. Now to play on the slider in, and the count is 1-2 strikes. The video returns tomorrow. I announced it at the beginning of the stream. I also put it up on a community post earlier. I return on screen tomorrow night's game. Come in set is Liberatore. The 1-2. A curveball bounced out there in front of home plate. Blocked there by Herrera. Staying at first is Nico Horner. And the count is 2-2. Yep, my fateful return on camera happens tomorrow, one way or the other. A lot of productive work. Took a while. It's not an easy thing to transport and then transplant. From the stretch is Liberatore. He throws over to first. Basically a lob throw to Burleson. Nico Horner back taking nothing lead. That's very true, Anthony. Now he comes set. The 2-2. A four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is 3-2 strikes. So it's a full count here to Ian Happ. Runner on first, nobody out. Runner on first is Nico Horner. Infield defense clearly shaded towards left in a modified double play depth. From the stretch is Liberatore. The 3-2. Called strike 3. Four-seam fastball on the outer third away. For the first out of the inning. So Ian Happ goes down looking, gets the old backwards K, Major League Baseball's parody of Cyrillic, for the first out. Now he gets back onto the bump. Stepping in is Dansby Swanson, lefty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first with one out. Here's the pitch. A slider in the dirt, blocked very well there by Herrera. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. Swanson hitting 2016 home runs, 61 RBIs in 101 games, a 713 OPS. He is at short tonight for the Cubs. From the stretch, the 1-0. Hit to the left side and through the hole between short and third into left field for a 1-out single. And now the Cubs have runners on first and second with 1 out here in the top of the second inning. So Matthew Liberatore, it's just from 1 at bat to another, you're not entirely sure what you're going to see. That time, that was a 4-seam fastball on the inner third below the belt. So Dansby Swanson did what any respectable major league hitter would do in that case. Runners lead off first and second. And here comes the 9-hitter, the catcher Amaya, lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. A curveball in the dirt, blocked very well by Pages. And the count, by Herrera. Count is 1-0. Amaya's hitting 239, 33 home runs, 17 RBIs in 56 games, a 716 OPS. From the stretch is Liberatore. He holds. He deals. Hit to the right side and through the hole into right field for a base hit. Picked up there by Jordan Walker, who tossed back in. And the run will score from second, and that will give the Cubs a 2-0 lead. So a 1-out RBI single to right for Amaya, and the Northsiders have a 2-0 lead here in the top of the second inning. It doesn't look like Liberatore has it tonight. That was a flat slider on the inner third, about thigh high. Amaya went the other way with the thing. Found the hole on the right side. Now they're back to the top of the lineup with PCA. He reached in his first at-bat with a walk. There is a fly ball to shallow right field. Underneath it is Weatherall calling for it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. It looked like the wind took it a bit. Took him a little time to track it down, especially at the last moment, but it is indeed the second out. So 1 pitch, 1 out for PCA. As I mentioned earlier, he walked leading off the game, then was picked off first by Liberatore. They put him in a pickle. Now here's Saya Suzuki. He's 1 for 1. He had a double and a run scored back in the top of the first inning. 267, 18 home runs, 58 RBIs. Runners on first and second with 2 out, top of the second inning. Come and set at the Birds, lefty-righty matchup. He deals. Strike, cutter on the inner third below the belt to Suzuki. The count is 0-1. Why no Dobbins tonight? That's a really good question. I was wondering that earlier. Now he comes set. The 0-1. Popped up there into shallow right field. Coming in is Jordan Walker calling for it. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. Well, they add an additional run and they leave 2 on. After 1.5 innings of play, it is 2-0 Cubs going to the bottom of the second inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. 2-0 Cubs go to the bottom of the second. Let's go to the chat. Okay. Well, at least he limited the bleeding. That is certainly the positive spin, no doubt, Justin. All right. Could have been worse indeed. Do I live anywhere in St. Louis? In fact, I do, Russell. I do. Well, it's interesting because you were mentioning, David, about Herrera not going out there. I mean, there is a limit on mound visits that they've begun enforcing recently. But at this point, you know, he could go out there and do it, but you might be able to settle him down. But at this point, you know, a lot of the issues that he's had has just all been about command. And it hasn't looked great, you know. If Herrera is, you know, the proverbial pitcher whisperer, all the better. But Matthew Liberatore has some real issues that every once in a while the clouds break in the sky, and we get the pitcher he could be. And a lot of the other time, he's the pitcher that we keep asking ourselves, well, when are they going to lose his last minor league option, send him down to AAA Memphis? Honestly, I would much rather have Hunter Dobbins pitching this game. Was the starting pitcher in question earlier today? Yeah, in fact, they didn't even put up the pitcher until about 4:30 local time, because I had to keep checking it because I put up those broadcast graphics as community posts to remind people when the games are. I had to put a dark silhouette on there that was wearing a Cardinal jersey and a Cardinal hat but had no cap. All right, we're back here for the bottom of the second inning. 2-0 Cubs, due up. Mason, Wynn, Velasquez, and Fermin. Lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Strike, sinker on the outside corner, and the count is 0-1 to the righty hitting shortstop for St. Louis, Mason Wynn. Mason's hitting .238. Now the 0-1. Hit on up the middle, picked up on a hop by Peterson, tosses it overhand towards first for the first out of the inning. So Mason Wynn grounds out 1-3 for the first out here at the bottom of the second inning. He was hitting .238 with 4 home runs and 42 RBIs. Now here comes Nelson Velasquez. He's part of this righty hitting platoon against lefty starters. In 67 at-bats, he's hitting .209 with 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. Now Peterson winds the first pitch. A four-seam fastball inside, and the count is 1-0. Now he winds the 1-0. Chop and rolls foul weakly down the first baseline, and the count is 1-1. Oh, you read it earlier today that Mason could possibly be traded. Yeah, you know, there's a whole bunch of that stuff going around right now. I'll be happy to comment on this in a moment. Comment winds Peterson, the 1-1 offering. Fouled straight back in the four-seam fastball up and in, and the count is 1-2 to Velasquez. I have seen trade proposals and ideas for literally everybody on the roster. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Velasquez. Infield defense very much shaded towards left with nobody on and the righty Velasquez in the box. I do mean everybody. Save a few pitchers. He comes one, the 1-2. Fouled straight back in the four-seam fastball up and in. Right up the trademark of Velasquez's bat. The count remains 1-2. I don't know what to make of it, because a lot of the talk around that, especially around Cardinals blogs and whatnot, which are fine online periodicals, they're just kind of speculating. The 1-2, a challenge up well away, and the count is 2-2. I mean, for the right return, I think you have to reasonably consider most anybody that isn't named Jordan Walker. Not that I'm saying they'll do that. Now, the 2-2 offering. Hit on out into left field. Underneath it is Happ. He makes the catch. Absolutely snow cones it. It nearly goes over his head for the second out of the inning. So that one had a bit more life on it than Ian Happ necessarily appreciated right off the bat. So now there is nobody on with 2 out here in the bottom of the second inning. He kind of took a weird route to the ball, but he managed to pull it in. Credit to him. Now here is Jose Fermin, lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch from Peterson. There's a fly ball to left field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is gone. A solo home run for Jose Fermin. And that will make it a 2-1 Cubs lead. A long home run over the left field wall for the Furminator. And it is now cut it down to a 2-1 Cubs lead. So excited about that, I gave you both of the sound effects. That was an absolute no-doubter off the bat of Jose Fermin. So the Cardinals are now on the board. It's a 2-1 game here in the bottom of the second inning. I thought you'd like that. And yeah, he absolutely was due. Now, here is Nootbaar, lefty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. A slider called a strike on the inside corner at the knees, and the count is 0-1. So Nootbaar's the 8-hitter tonight. He's hitting .241. Lefty-lefty matchup, the 0-1. There's a fly ball out to center field. Going back is the center fielder in front of the wall, in front of the National Rental sign. He makes the catch, does PCA for the third and final out of the inning. However, one run on one very big hit, the solo home run off the bat of Jose Fermin. No walks, nobody left on. It is 2-1 Cubs going to the top of the third inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're joined by caller Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening, and you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. It is helping out the channel immensely. You have my eternal gratitude. In addition to the fact it causes the algorithm to push it out to more Cardinal fans who need all the help they can get trying to follow the Cardinals day in and day out when you're not willing to pay 3 or 4 different subscriptions to try and follow them every day. And if you like what you see and hear, and you're not already subscribed, well, then what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. With that said, 2-1 Cubs going to the top of the third inning. Let's go to the chat. Hold 'em Cardinals and get that run back. I would love that. Eric Boyce, good to see you, Eric. Hope we can win because we don't want to be like last year. Yeah, that wasn't fun. The thing is, last year's team had no excuse. There were plenty of really capable veterans. This is the youngest team in baseball. But these guys don't quit. And that's the cool thing about them. And, we'll see what happens from here. I'm just happy at the moment that this looks like a Cardinal team with a future. And one worth thinking about. Like and sub, folks. Well, thank you so much, Russell. What's the wind look like? Well, that's a very good question. I can't answer that specific to the park, but it clearly is swirling around a bit. In terms of the actual weather itself, it seems that the wind is blowing 7 miles per hour towards the northwest. So that's the best answer I could give you. Now we're back here for the top of the third inning. Now here is Alex Bregman. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball going towards right, looking up, and it is gone. A solo home run to right by Alex Bregman. And that will give the Cubs a 3-1 lead. Alex Bregman responds immediately to that solo home run from Jose Fermin in the bottom of the second inning, and they have a solo home run to right to lead off this top of the third inning off the bat of Alex Bregman. Yeah, I don't think Liberatore has it tonight. The evidence would suggest as such. So, 3-1 Cubs. Now here is the cleanup hitter, the catcher, Carson Kelly. A slider called a ball up and away. The count is 1-0. You have to laugh, so not to cry. Fair enough. 256, 6 home runs for Carson Kelly. Lefty-righty matchup, the 1-0. A cutter inside, out of the zone. The count is 2-0. I live off of Germania, I-55. Cheers to that, Russell. Now he winds the 2-0. Swinging strike on the slider, down and in. Swinging over the top of that one was Carson Kelly, and the count is 2-1. Infield defense shaded towards left on the shift for the righty Kelly. Now Liberatore winds the 2-1. Hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. Hitting against the shift there. And he has himself a single, and the Cubs have a runner on first with nobody out in the top of the third inning. One already in on the opposite field home run by Alex Bregman that made it a 3-1 game. Now here's the lefty first baseman, Michael Busch. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 247, 13 home runs, 56 RBIs. He comes up. Lefty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off first. From the stretch is Liberatore. The first pitch to Busch. Swinging strike on the slider downstairs, and the count is 0-1. That's where I am, the Northwest. Pacific Northwest, yes. He comes set at the Birds. Runner leads off first. The 0-1. Hit on up the middle, picked up on hop by Liberatore. He throws the second one on to first. A double play. A 1-6-3 double play for the first and second out of the inning. A very fine play there, fielding by Matthew Liberatore. It was hit right up the middle. He managed to pick it up on the first hop, turn around, put a bullet to Mason Wynn covering second, who put the relay throw to first in plenty of time. Now here is the righty, Nico Hoerner. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Hoerner is 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. One already in here for the Cubs in the top of the third. Come in one. The first pitch to Hoerner. A slider just outside below the belt. The count is 1-0. Good evening to you, Sam. Good to see you. Now, from the full wind, he deals a changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. He gets back into the box. He is set to go. Liberatore looks in, sitting on the extreme third base side of the rubber. The 2-0 offering. Strike, slider on the inner third at the knees. The count is 2-1. Next pitch is going to be Matty Liberatore's 50th on the evening in 2 2/3 innings of work. He looks into Herrera. He deals. Hit to the left side. Picked up by Blaze Jordan on the ground. He throws to first in time to get Nico Hoerner for the third and final out of the inning. However, one run on a very big hit by Alex Bregman that gives Chicago a 3-1 lead. We go to the bottom of the third inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. 3-1 Cubs going to the bottom of the third inning. All right. So he gives up the solo home run to Alex Bregman the other way. He manages to recover, helps his own cause by turning a double play that most pitchers generally don't do that well at. But here we are. Now due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the third inning. It's going to be Blaze Jordan, J.J. Weatherall, and Jordan Alexander Walker. 9, 1, and 2 in their order. They'll be facing Peterson. Hey, Sinbin, good to see you. All right. Lib so bad. I would just describe him as deeply inconsistent because he does seem to have his moments, but not nearly enough of them. He's always a total wild card every time you throw him out there, and that does not make for a proper rotation spot for one of your starting 5 or 6, as the case may be. Like I said, I would have been much happier with Hunter Dobbins pitching today. All right, we are back here for the bottom of the third inning. Blaze Jordan, Weatherall, and Jordan Walker. They will be facing Peterson, who's out there for his third frame of work. He's given up 1 run on 2 hits so far. Lefty-righty matchup. He comes wide. The first pitch to Blaze. A sinker away and out of the zone. The count is 1 ball and no strikes. Now, the 1-0 offering. A slider down and away and out of the zone. Ruled a ball, and the count is 2-0. Have they shown Fearless Leader yet? That's a good question, Ron. Hold on a second. The 2-0 pitch. Hit to the left side. Picked up there by Swanson at short. He throws to first in time to get Blaze Jordan for the first out of the inning. So Blaze Jordan grounds out 6-3 for the first out. Now back to the top of the order with J.J. Weatherall. He's 1 for 1. He started off the action for the Cardinals in the bottom of the first inning with a single to left off Peterson. Yeah, they have shown Ollie Marmol a few times, in fact. He is the Sphinx. Is he awake? Is he asleep? We don't know. Now, the first pitch from Peterson, fouled down the third base side and out of play on the sinker up and in. The count is 0-1. Nothing better than listening to Cardinals baseball and working on your trading cards. Cheers to that, Cards Clips. Now, the 0-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the sinker, down and in. Swinging over the top of that one was Wetherholt, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of J.J. Wetherholt, who steps back into the box. Peterson comes wide, the 0-2. Chop foul down the first base side, and out of play on the sinker on the inside corner. And the count remains 0-2. And the scorebug on Cardinals.tv is brought to you by Menards. I hear you save big money. It's an 0-2 count. Peterson looking in. He comes motion. He deals. A sinker well down and away and in the dirt. The count is 1-2. Or playing Call of Duty. You play Call of Duty, Roger? Peterson's looking in. Infield defense shaded towards right on the shift with the lefty Wetherholt. The 1-2. Foul down the third base side and out of play on the fourth-seam fastball. The count is 1-2. Joe Breeding, Brother Joe, 74 likes, 103 watching. Hit the like button, please. We need to keep that streak going. Thank you so much, Brother Joe. It's a 1-2 count. Looking in is Peterson, who comes wide. He deals. A slider well out and away and out of the zone. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield playing way back in addition to the shift. The 2-2. Hit to the right side. Picked up there by the second baseman. He throws to first. Gets Wetherholt by a step for the second out of the inning. So, Wetherholt grounds out to his counterpart for the second out. And now here comes Jordan Alexander Walker. He's 0 for 1. Struck out in his first at-bat. No kidding, Roger. How about that? That's really cool. Lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch to Jordan Walker. Strike, sinker, whispers over the black of the outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1. Nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the third inning. 3-1 Cubs here in the first of 4 this week at Busch. He winds and deals. Swinging strike on the changeup well outside. Really doing a favor there to Peterson, and the count is 0-2. You get the feeling like Jordan Walker's pressing a bit. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. Everybody take a drink. He gets back into the box. 36 pitches so far for Peterson, who winds the 0-2 offering. A four-seam fastball up and in. Getting out of the way of that one was Jordan Walker, and the count is 1-2. If we keep these young guys, I'm so looking forward to next year. I think they're going to keep most of them, Ron. I do. The 1-2 offering. A sinker just misses the outside corner. It is ruled a ball, and the count is 2-2. Jordan Walker has not really connected in a huge way since the All-Star break. The 2-2. A changeup bounced out in front of home plate, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the third inning. 3-1 Cubs. It's a 3-2 count to Jordan Walker. Next pitch is going to be Peterson's 40th. He comes motion. The pitch. Ball 4 on the sinker outside, ruled a ball. So Jordan Walker works a 2-out walk. The Cardinals have a runner on first with 2 out here in the bottom of the third inning. That'll bring up Ivan Herrera, who is in the 3-hole tonight. He is 0 for 1. Had some pretty big days on Saturday and Sunday against the Reds. Hopefully he's breaking out of whatever he was dealing with. He fouled out in his first at-bat. From the stretch is Peterson. Walker leads off first. He throws over second with a snap throw. Back in time with the head first slide is Jordan Walker. And we await the first pitch of the at-bat. See, John. Yo, Brother Paul, how goes it? Heard it was 110 index in St. Louis today. You did not hear wrong. The first pitch. Strike, 4-seam fastball inside quarter below the belt. Herrera was not enamored with the call, but he's not challenging it. Both teams have both of their ABS challenges. There's no 1 count. Jordan Walker, he leads off first with 2 out. Coming set is Peterson. He deals a four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is 1-1. A $5 super from Inquisitor Holt. Just curious, what are your thoughts on pitcher development in today's MLB? Why do we see so few dominant pitchers today? That's a great question. Coming set is Peterson, the 1-1. A sinker downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Well, first off, thank you so much for the $5 super, Inquisitor. I really appreciate it. It helps a great deal, and I thank you for it. I'm going to answer your question in detail in the half inning when that comes, if not before. Now, the 2-1 offering. Hit on up the middle. Picked up there by the second baseman on the ground right of second. He throws to first in time for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, one walk, one left on. After 3 full innings of play, it is 3-1 Cubs going to the top of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. All right, Inquisitor. Why do we see so few dominant pitchers? Pitcher development. Well, as far as pitching development, it seems like Milwaukee seems to be doing a great job of it. You know, it's gotten interesting, right? There's a certain trend in baseball. It's been going on progressively more over the last 20 years, where there is a huge emphasis on balls missing bats. That guys don't pitch to contact anymore, and they're also not necessarily, at least in my own personal estimation, really being taught how to properly pitch, which is obviously quite different than throwing as hard as you can in and around the strike zone. My concern really is that in addition to throwing hard, a lot of these guys have not really gotten their mind around of how to actually pitch, and that every once in a while you don't need to be throwing 100% on your fastball every time you're out there. That was a lesson that Sandy Koufax learned quite painfully until, 3 or 4 years into his career. I forget the catcher who brought it up to him. He said, Sandy, you have great stuff, but you don't have to throw 100% all the time to get these guys out, even via strikeout. And one of the reasons I don't think you see as many dominant pitchers is because a lot of these pitchers sometimes don't last that long, just given mechanical issues and the extreme emphasis on throwing really hard. We're not living in an era where we would see an El Duque or a David Cone, and I find that kind of disappointing, to say the least. And a lot of these really hard throwers, once they do actually learn how to pitch, they become really quite good. It just doesn't seem to be something that modern baseball is all that interested in overall. Now, the first pitch to Ian Happ. Foul tipped on the curveball away, and the count is 0-1. Up in the bullpen, the right-hander Hunter Dobbins, who I think rightfully should have started this game, all told. He is getting loose on the Cardinal pen. 3-1 Cubs in the top of the 4th inning. Now, the 0-1. A four-seam fastball upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. I hope to some degree, Inquisitor, that did answer your question. If you have any follow-ups, by all means, feel free to leave it. Those are just my opinions. The 1-1 offering. Strike, slider on the outer third at the knees. The count is 1-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 4th inning. 3-1 Cubs. Ian Happ is 0-1 for a strikeout. Hitting .220 with 18 home runs this year. Liberatore comes wide. The 1-2. A sinker well inside and out of the zone. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, don't call me Bobber. Call me Paul D. We're all friends here, Inquisitor. Now, the 2-2 offering. Fouled down the third baseline and out of play on the slider in. The count remains 2-2. Shods, comics, and beers. Let's go Cubbies. Hey, we got a Cubs fan in the audience. Welcome aboard. Ian Happ hitting .252, 28 home runs, 70 RBIs in his career against the Cardinals. Like I was saying earlier, he's literally made a season out of hitting against the Cards. The 2-2 offering. There's a fly ball into left field down the line. And it slices foul. So that is a long null outcome, and the count remains 2-2. Jimmy. I'm about to eat popcorn out of my Michael Myers popcorn bucket while listening to Paul. Not a bad way to listen to the Cards. Hey, Jimmy, I'm glad you're enjoying it. But Inquisitor, you're very welcome, and thank you again. Now back into the box is Hap. Coming one, the 2-2 offering. Swinging strike 3, down goes Hap. For the first out of the inning, Ian Happ swung right over the top of that breaking ball, down and in. Probably one of the best that Liberatore has thrown all night for the first out. Yeah, Zeke, you and I are very much on the same page there. Now, the first pitch to Dansby Swanson. A curveball downstairs. The count is 1-0. Dansby Swanson is 1 for 1 with a single tonight. He's hitting .222, 16 home runs, 61 RBIs, and 101 games at shortstop for the Northsiders. Liberatore winds and deals. Strike changeup on the inner third at the knees. The count is 1-1. Swanson gets back into the box. Liberatore looks in. He winds, the 1-1 offering. A curveball bounced out in front of home plate, and the count is 2-1. What is your favorite snack or food to have while watching or being at a sporting event? Mine are nachos, popcorn, or chili. Interesting question. Now, the 2-1 offering. Strike, slider on the outer third thigh high, and the count comes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, it kind of depends on the ballpark. We're just talking baseball in particular. 61 pitches so far for Liberatore. The 2-2, swinging strike 3, down, hacking goes Dansby Swanson for the second out of the inning. So Matthew Liberatore getting both the first and second out via the swing and miss. Now, nobody on with 2 out, top of the 4th inning. 3-1 Cubs. Stepping in is the catcher Amaya, who's 1 for 1. Lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch from Liberatore. Hit it out to left field and in for a base hit. Picked up out there by Dupar. So Amaya manages himself a 2-out single, and the Cubs have a runner on first with 2 out here at the top of the 4th inning. So depending on the venue, at Yankee Stadium, they have very, very good Italian sausage grinders. Love that. There's some pretty decent barbecue stuff, not the greatest that's ever been made, at Busch Stadium. I mean, it's not like going to Pappy's or something. That's pretty darn good. Kansas City does a great job on that at Kaufman. Oh, and either of the New York ballparks, a Knish. Very big fan of a Knish with some good yellow mustard, especially spicier. Now, here's PCA. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Lefty-lefty matchup. Runner on first with 2 out. The pitch. Slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. I once got a Knish at Busch Stadium, and I should have known better. It was not a good Knish. That's the only dining experience I didn't approve of at Busch that I've had over the years. The 1-0. A 4-seam fastball well away and out of the zone to PCA, and the count is 2-0. Nick /4 Life, number 87 on the like button. Well, thank you so much, 4 Life. The Tarps Off crowd always turns their back to Pete Crow Armstrong, the 2-0. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-0. Yeah, they turn their back to him. I'm sure there's a story there. Don't ask me what it is. Coming set, the 3-0. Ball 4, so Matthew Liberatore puts 4 out of the zone to PCA. He issues a 2-out walk, and the Cubs have runners on first and second with 2 out here at the top of the 4th inning. It's a 3-1 Cubs lead here in the first of 4. And Ollie Marmol has taken the long walk out to the pen. 67 pitches for Liberatore. I think he's seen enough. Coming in is the righty, Hunter Dobbins. He's going to face Saya Suzuki. So that's the story there, folks. So we have ourselves a pitching change here with 2 out in the top of the 4th inning. I used to get Knishes at the Poshnosh. Oh, excellent. Yeah, Dwayne, you would have access to a good Knish. I completely agree, CCSY. Zeke. Libby is a good long reliever and mediocre starter. It's on high and bloom for trading Sonny Gray and putting Libby in a tough spot. I mean, I think they were going to trade, Sonny Gray anyway. They wanted to get rid of some of that money. And, I have trouble believing at present, based on everything we've seen this year, that Matthew Liberatore is long for the rotation long term. That's, not a terrible surprise, but I think that seems to be what we have. Now we get Hunter Dobbins, who definitely gets the Selfless Award this year, because he's basically ridden that shuttle between Memphis and St. Louis a few times, calling up, being brought down, pitching reasonably well, then sending him down again because he needs to make room on the roster for one reason or another. But when he has pitched, generally Hunter Dobbins has been quite good. He was exceptional against the Angels last week. Yeah, and now we are beginning to see some of those highlights. He went 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, no earned, no runs in general, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Took the win in that getaway day against the Angels back on Wednesday. Somebody wake Ollie up. Now, maybe they can also wake up the Cards bats in the bottom of the inning. Well, that'd be nice. Hey, it's Trisk. Let's go, St. Louis. Good to see you, Trisk. Hunter Dobbins, 2-1 with a 3.18 ERA, 10 walks and 28 strikeouts, a 1.31 whip in 6 games and 4 starts of action. He inherits runners on first and second with 2 out. He is facing Saya Suzuki, who's 1 for 2. Righty-righty matchup, 3-1 Cubs here in the top of the 4th inning. From the stretches, Dobbins setting at the Birds. His first pitch. Strike, slider on the inside corner, thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Hunter Dobbins has earned a chance to be in the rotation, 100%, Zeke. He comes set. He deals. Hit foul down the third base side, out of play, and Hunter Dobbins is ahead of Suzuki here. No balls and 2 strikes. He gets back into the box. Infield defense playing back and shaded towards left with the ready Suzuki. From the stretches, Dobbins, the 0-2. A 4-seam fastball misses just upstairs on the outer third, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hunter Dobbins trying to end this inning right here. He comes set at the Birds. The 1-2. Foul tipped on the 4-seam fastball. And it's actually, he missed it. It's called strike 3, throwing over to first, and he strikes him out for the 3rd and final out of the inning. I thought he fouled tipped it, then when Herrera went running for it in order to get Suzuki, who was flying up the line to secure the strikeout, that'll end the inning. So the Cubs, they push nothing across and leave 2 on. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 3-1 Cubs here in the first of 4 of this very long weekday set at Busch. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. 3-1 Cubs going to the bottom of the 4th. All right. That's the story there, chat. Whistle time indeed. One of the more unusual whistles that I've had to activate in my Cardinals play-by-play duties so far this year. Yeah, the hot dogs are... I like a good hot dog at the ballpark, no question. Getting back to that. When it comes to drinks, right, this is where I get very particular. I am very, very specific, especially like when it's a souvenir cup, to tell whoever's working there and getting it, make it light ice. Because if you don't tell them that, they will fill it to the very brim with ice, and you'll get 2 drops of liquid. They do it to you every time, and I'm not having any of it. So at least when they try and hand it to me with a whole bunch of ice in it, I can hand it back and say, hey, guys, were you listening? I said light ice. That isn't light ice. That's a glacier in my cup. I didn't pay for that. All right. Lost power. What did I miss? Well, I don't know exactly when you lost power, but I suspect, Dennis, that you may have missed the Alex Bregman solo home run in the top of the 3rd inning that made it a 3-1 Cubs lead. Jose Fermin homered in the bottom of the 2nd for the Cardinals, made it 2-1 at the time. Now here is Alec Burleson. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup against David Peterson, who winds the first pitch. A slider well away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Grounded out in his first at-bat did Burleson. He deals. Hit to the right side. Picked up there by Nico Horner at second on a hop. He throws to first in time to get Burleson. So Burley grounds out 4-3 for the first out. Nobody on with 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning. 3-1 Cubs. Here comes Mason Wynn, the righty hitting shortstop for St. Louis. Digging into the box. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Lefty-righty matchup. Peterson winds and deals. A sinker just misses the outside corner. It's ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. I'm very curious to see the type of player Mason Wynn will really turn into. Now, the 1-0 offering. A sinker well downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Because he has that cannon of an arm. He has some pretty decent range on his feet at short. Peterson winds. He deals. Hit to the right side and in the hole into right field for a 1-out base hit off the bat of Mason Wynn. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And I think he can become an even better hitter with time. He has shown flashes of something that is worthy of watching develop over the long term. John George. Hi, Paul D and JB in chat. Hey, John. Good to see you. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's Velasquez. He's 0 for 1. The pitch. Foul back on the 4-seam fastball upstairs. 91 miles an hour on the left hand of Peterson, and the count is 0-1. Small ball, please. Let's get back to basics. I'd like that, Ronald. I really would. 50 pitches here for Peterson in 3 1/3 inning of work. He comes set at the stretch. Throws over to first. Back in time as Mason Wynn with less than a 0 lead. They clearly are respecting his pickoff move. Nelson Velasquez, that 0 for 1 was on a line out. He gets back into the box. Wynn leads off first. Coming set at the letters is Peterson. He throws over first with a snap throw. Back in time with the head first slide is Mason Wynn. They're very much respecting that move over there. That's the second time he's done that tonight. I sure hope this is the start of a 6-run inning. Well, that'd be nice. No doubt. Velasquez is back in the box. Coming set is Peterson. He holds and deals. There's a fly ball out to left field, giving chase his Hap near the stands at the line. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. He throws it in. Tagging up to second is Mason Wynn. So a sacrifice fly on the fly ball to left field off the bat of Velasquez. Heads up base running there by Mason Wynn. He tags up from first to second. And now the Cardinals have a runner in scoring position with 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Very smart baseball on the base path there by Mason Wynn. Now here's Jose Fermin in his first at-bat. He hit a solo home run to left off Peterson. Lefty-righty matchup. Wynn leads off second with 2 out. Coming set is Peterson. The first pitch of Fermin. Strike, changeup on the outer third below the belt. And the count is 0-1. Fermin hitting .257, 5 home runs, 22 RBIs in 69 games, a .713 OPS. Played everywhere but catcher and pitcher this year. Coming set is Peterson, the 0-1. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball away, and the count is 0-2. Roger Bassman, I dealt in sports card and collectibles for long enough to reach a point of burnout. I actually ended up with 5 Upper Deck SP Jeter rookies, oh wow, and 400 the lesser Jeter rookies in a buy once. Yaz rookies, that's quite a collection, Roger. The 0-2. Check swing on the slider down and in. Did he go around? No, says Blue down the first baseline on the appeal, and the count is 1-2. Nick, 91 likes, 196 people watching. Let's go, everyone. Let's hit 100. I think they'll be the 44th day in a row or something like that. 44th game in a row. Coming sets Peterson at the letters. The 1-2 offering. Hit foul and chopped it off his lower body. And the count is still 1-2. Oh, John. Oh, okay. I'm going to read that in a moment, John. Stand by. Stepping back into the box is Fermin. It's a 1-2 count. Mason Wynn is at second following the sacrifice fly by Velasquez to left where he tagged up from first to second. Coming set is Peterson. The 1-2. There's a fly ball out to left field. Happ is underneath it in front of the track. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no walks, and 1 left on. After 4 full innings of play, it is 3-1 Cubs going to the top of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call to Redbird action here on Game Mike tonight, and you haven't done so already, please do leave a like. It is helping this growing channel continue to grow, and I have you all to thank for that. It's also helping this stream get out to Cardinals fans who are having trouble following the Cardinals day in and day out. And Lord knows you have my appreciation. And if it's the first time here, you like what you're seeing and enjoying, or maybe you've been here multiple times before and you're not yet subscribed, well, hit subscribe. A great growing community here on Game Mike. With that said, 3-1 Cubs going to the top of the 5th inning. John George. Have you heard that story when the Babe faced Walter Johnson? Babe took 3 straight strikes. Babe asked the ump, did you see any of those strikes? Ump said no. Babe said, the last one sounded high. That's excellent. Absolutely. Of course, that was back when Washington was in the American League. What is it they used to say about the old Senators? Washington, first in war, first in peace, last in the American League. Harold Houseman with the $2 super. Bombers Game Mike with Big Paul D is where it's at. Thank you so much, Harold. I really appreciate that more than I can express. And I cannot thank you enough for your generosity. It helps a ton. So we await the top of the 5th inning. Hunter Dobbins in relief of Matthew Liberatore undoubtedly will be out for his second frame. And we are back to the action. Bregman, Kelly, and Busch, 3, 4, and 5 in the Cubs order. Alex Bregman 1 for 2 with a solo home run in his last at-bat. Righty-righty matchup. 3-1 Cubs, top of 5, the first pitch. Strike, slider down Broadway to Bregman, and the count is 0-1. Now, he wants the 0-1. A sweeper well away. A nice job by Herrera managing to pick that up on the backhand over the lefty batter's box. The count is 1-1. He looks in and winds the 1-1 offering. Hit down the right field line, slicing into the stands, and the count is 1-2. I see 92 likes, but 150 is the goal. Aw. Yes, Roger, absolutely. Jimmy Rotero, good to see you. The 1-2. Foul down the third base side. Now the play on the sweeper, and the count remains 1-2. Jimmy Otero. Hey, guys and gals, 180 watching and only 14 likes. Yeah, you got to hit refresh on that. The 1-2. A sweeper away and out of the zone. The count comes even at 2-2. Now Dobbins looking. He winds, deals. A four-seam fastball well inside, just getting out of the way as there is Bregman, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 10 pitches so far for Hunter Dobbins. Now the 3-2, hit to the right side and through the hole into right field for a base hit, picked up by Jordan Walker. So with that single to right, the Cubs have a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. And Nick with the $10 super. Let's go, St. Louis. Let's get Paul D. Chat family. Let's hit that like button. Nick/4life, thank you so much. Incredibly generous. You do so much here anyway. How could I possibly complain? You are awesome. I thank you so much. The first pitch. Strike, slider on the inner third at the knees. The count is 0-1. Runner leads off first. Righty-righty matchup. The 0-1 to Kelly. Hit foul down the third baseline and into the stands on the sweeper, and the count is 0-2. Are we drinking on the behest of Jordan Walker? I suppose in a slightly removed way. I think that you could describe it that way, Roger. Coming set is Dobbins. The 0-2. A sinker in and out of the zone. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carson Kelly, a strikeout and a single. Bregman leads off first. From the stretch is Dobbins setting at the Birds. The pitch. A sweeper down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. He gets back onto the bump. 15 pitches so far for Hunter. He comes set at the stretch. The 2-2. Hit foul down the left field line and out of play on the sweeper in. The count remains 2-2. No, when you take a drink, make sure it's at least 80 proof. We want to have fun tonight. Coming set is Dobbins. He deals. Hit on up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So the Cubs have runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. A couple of singles off of Hunter Dobbins, and the Cubs are in business here. He just sent that thing right back where it came from. The only thing that could be done was Fairmean to pick it up off the ground in center field. Now here is Michael Busch. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, looking grounded out into a double play. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch hit to the right side. Picked up there by Alec Burleson, covering the bag at first to Dobbins. He takes the underhand throw, and he beats the runner to the bag for the first out of the inning. Both of the runners move up 90 feet, and now it was indeed a productive out. He was too deep playing that ball to really be able to turn and make the throw to second and try to attempt the double play. But it was a productive out. Both runners move up 90 feet. Now the Cubs have runners on second and third with 1 out. And here's the righty, Nico Hoerner, to face Hunter Dobbins. Infield defense playing even with the bags against the lip of the grass. On some of the right to him, they want to be able to cut the runner home at third. The runner at home down from third. The first pitch hit to the left side and past a diving Mason Wynn into center field for a base hit. At least 2 runs will score, and that will give the Cubs a 5-1 lead on the 2 RBI single to center for Nico Hoerner, and the Cubs now have a 5-1 lead here in the top of the 5th inning. They just took what Hunter Dobbins gave them, which was pretty much a sinker down Broadway. And in the case of Mason Wynn, when you're playing in like that, it gives you much less reaction time. He actually managed to get a little bit of leather on it on a full body extension dive. Now here's Ian Happ. He's 0 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner on first with 1 out. 2 already in. Here's the pitch. A four-seam fastball strike, down and away, and the count is 0-1. Now, he comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Chopped to the right side, picked up by Wetherall. He throws the second one, on to first, not in time. So Happ will reach on the fielder's choice. Nico Horner is out on the force at second. That's the second out. So the Cubs still have a runner on first, but now with two out here in the top of the fifth inning. Digging into the box here is the shortstop, Dansby Swanson. It's a righty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first with two out. Two already in, 5-1 Cubs, top of five. Dobbins sets at the Birds, the first pitch. A slider down and away, ruled a ball, and the count is 1-0. Yeah, I can imagine, Trisk. I can imagine. Coming set is Dobbins. The 1-0. Strike, slider on the inside quarter below the belt. The count is 1-1. Dansby Swanson, 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout hacking. Now the 1-1 offering. A sweeper away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Next pitch is going to be Hunter Dobbins, 25th. Infield defense playing back and shaded towards left with the exception of Burleson holding the runner on first. Cummins sets Dobbins. The pitch. Strike, splitter on the inside quarter below the belt. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Alex, it is indeed a representation of what I look like, but I'll be back on camera tomorrow night. The studio's nearly finished here, and this thing's going to get set right. And then you get to see Paul D on camera all you like. Now he sets the 2-2. There's a fly ball out to left field, and it falls. It looks like it went and jumped into the stands, and it is a foul ball. It is ruled a foul ball. Let's see here on the replay. The initial camera angle was blocked by the stands, and it's clearly a foul ball. Count remains 2-2, and it wasn't foul by much. Maybe an inch to the right, it would have coughed up some chalk, and then we'd be dealing with a very different story. There you go, JB. Justin Beasley plugging it. The on-screen return of Paul D. Swanson gets back into the box. Runner leads off first. It's a 2-2 count. Dobbins comes set at the Birds. The 2-2 offering. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes Swanson. For the third and final out of the inning. However, the Cubs push 2 more across and leave 1. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 5-1 Cubs going to the bottom of the 5th. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Let's go to the chat. All right. John George. Only the Yankees have more championships than our Cardinals. 27 for the Yanks, 11 for the Redbirds. The 2011 was one of the most exciting. Thanks for the memories, 2011 Cardinals teams. Yeah, I love that Cardinal team. You know, I was talking about this in the rain delay with Justin Beasley. So, in terms of pennants, not World Series wins, pennants, the Yankees have 41 American League pennants. So they've been in the World Series 41 times. And the Cardinals have 19 National League pennants. So they've been there 19 times, giving them a combined total of 60 World Series appearances, and occasionally sometimes facing each other. There have been 121 World Series played since the inception of the World Series. And what that means is roughly half of every World Series ever played has included either one or both the Yankees and the Cardinals. That's something to chew on. So due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 5th inning, it is going to be Lars Nootbaar, Blaze Jordan, and J.J. Wetherald. So 8, 9, and 1 in the Redbird order. It is a beautiful whistle indeed, Nick. And thank you again for the super. Need Albert Pujols. I think we've all missed Albert. Especially the version before he went behind the orange curtain. All right, Peterson's out there for his 5th frame of work. The first pitch to Nootbaar. A sinker inside, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. 57 pitches for Peterson. Lefty-lefty matchup. The 1-0 offering. Strike. Sinker on the inside corner at the knees. The count is 1-1. Now, the 1-1 offering. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play, and the count is 1-2. Lars Nootbaar is 0 for 1 with a flyout, hitting .239, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs in 41 games, a .710 OPS for Lars. Peterson looks in and winds the 1-2. Just got a piece of that slider away. Stayed alive there is Nootbaar, and the count is 1-2. Peterson gets back onto the bump. He comes wide, the 1-2 pitch. A sinker well away and out of the zone. The count comes even at 2-2. Well, if the Cardinals want to get into this game, base runners they so desperately need, he winds the pitch. A slider down and away and out of the zone. And the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Lars Nootbaar. Now, the 3-2 offering. Shot foul down the first base side and out of play. And it remains 3-2. A lot of trade rumors flying around Lars Nootbaar about a week from now. Peterson winds the 3-2. Foul ball on the half swing there by Nootbaar. Just gets a piece of that thing, and the count remains 3-2. It's hard to know how the market's going to turn out in that regard. Whether if it will truly be a seller's market or not, that remains to be seen. Kind of hard to measure it since no major trades yet have happened. Nootbaar's back into the box. The 3-2. Called strike 3. Curveball on the inside corner below the belt. Down looking goes Nootbaar for the first out of the inning. So they're going to the 9-hitter, the rook Blaze Jordan. Blaze Jordan is 0 for 1, hitting .236 this year. Lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball, outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Blaze Jordan 0 for 1 with the ground out, hitting .236 with a homer, 22 RBIs in 32 games. Peterson winds and deals. Hit on back up the middle, picked up there by Nico Horner behind second. He throws to first in time to get Blaze Jordan. So Blaze Jordan grounds out 4-3 for the second out. Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the 5th inning, 5-1 Cubs. Peterson is putting together a very respectable outing. The only blemish on his record is a solo home run off the bat of Jose Fermin. And here is J.J. Wetherald. Lefty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. Strike, curveball in the near third below the belt. The count is 0-1. J.J. Wetherald is 1 for 2 tonight. Led off the game in the bottom of the first for the Cardinals with a single to left. Coming winds Peterson. He deals. A slider down and away and in the dirt. The count is 1-1. He comes motion, the 1-1 offering. Hit to the right side, picked up by the first baseman. He tosses to Peterson, cover, and beats Weatherholt to the bag for the third and final out of the inning. 1, 2, 3, go the Cardinals. We head to the top of the sixth inning. 5-1 Cubs. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Well, talk about making Peterson look like he's Cy Young. It's amazing how different two starts can be. Last time facing him on the 3rd of July up at Wrigley, he couldn't get out of his own way. I mean, for the Cardinal hitters, the baseball he was throwing must have looked like a beach ball. Not so tonight. Not so tonight. Oddly enough, the few times that I've been in the vicinity of Joe Buck, and if he saw you approaching him, he would walk away or get on his phone. You know, not everybody deals with fame the same way. I've heard of broadcasters, players alike. Not all of them are great with it. You would think broadcasters would be a little bit more equipped to deal with it, if you really want to call it that, given the fact that they are natural communicators and very much the face and voice of a franchise, as opposed to a player who is being paid to play as opposed to use his gob. It happens. What can I say? Due up for the Chicago Cubs in the top of the sixth inning. It's going to be Amaya, PCA, and Suzuki, so 9, 1, and 2 in the Cubs order. Amaya is 2 for 2 with an RBI. Pete Crow Armstrong 0 for 1 with a couple of walks, and Suzuki is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. He is also struck out. Hunter Dobbins out for his third frame. It'll be a righty-righty matchup here against the catcher Amaya, the 9-hitter. He comes one, the first pitch. Popped him straight up in the infield. Who's calling for it? It's Wynn. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. One pitch, one out for Dobbins. Popping out is Amaya for the first out. Now here's PCA 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. He comes up with nobody on, one out, top of the sixth inning, 5-1 Cubs. Righty-lefty matchup, infield defense shaded towards right against the lefty PCA. The first pitch, strike, four-seam fastball inside corner below the belt. The count is 0-1. The Tarps off crowd turning their back to PCA again. There's some story there, I just don't know what it is. Dobbins looks in and once. He deals a splitter away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. No, there will never be. The 1-1. A splitter away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Well, thank you so much, Harold. I really appreciate that. It really does mean a lot to me. I do my best to put the best show forward. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled straight back on the sinker, down and in, and the count comes even at 2-2 to Pete Crow Armstrong. That was a 30-second pitch for Dobbins. He gets back into the box. He winds a 2-2. Swinging strike three. Down, hacking goes PCA for the second out of the inning. Now, nobody on with two out here at the top of the sixth. 5-1 Cubs. Well, I remember the home run, CCSY. I was just wondering if there was more to it. The first pitch is Suzuki. Foul down the first baseline and out of play on the four-seam fastball away, and the count is 0-1. Suzuki is 1 for 3. It's a righty-righty matchup. Nobody on with two out. It's an 0-1 count. Dobbins comes wide and deals. Hit to the left side. Picked up wide of third, and he boots it. Does Blaze Jordan. It goes into left field, so Suzuki will reach first with two out. I have to imagine, even with the difficulty in the play, that should be ruled an error. An unfortunate boot of the ball. That would have definitely ended the inning right there. Mason Wynn actually had him backed up right behind him. He couldn't get anything on it. It actually went between the wickets in the case of Mason Wynn. Who do you put the error on? Now, the first pitch. Hit foul down the third baseline and out of play to Alex Bregman. It's a righty-righty matchup. Alex Bregman tonight is 3 for 3. There's a runner on first with 2 out with Suzuki reaching. Cummins sets Dobbins. He deals. Hit foul down the third baseline and out of play on the sweeper away. Counts 0-2. Over 100 likes again. Like, I think it's the 44th game in a row. Thank you all so much. It's a heck of a streak. He comes set. The 0-2. There's a fly ball out to left field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is a foul ball. It actually bounced off the second deck and came back down, but it's clear foul, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, thank you so much, Nick. Now, Dobbins from the stretch. Runner leads off first. It's no 2 count. He sets at the birds. He deals. A 4-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. Nick, I don't know about you all, but I just shared this YouTube channel. I have also liked, I am subscribed. It's time, everybody. Please share this YouTube channel on all forums. I have. Now, the 1-2. A sinker in. Getting out of the way of that one is Bregman, and the count is even at 2-2. Suzuki, he leads off first. Dobbins comes set at the birds. The 2-2. Hit on up the middle and picked up by Weatherall on the hop. He throws to first in time to get Bregman for the final out of the inning. No runs, 1 left on. After 5.5 innings of play, it is 5-1 Cubs going to the bottom of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. Okay. I missed the 100th like. I don't like that. Well, hey, Nick, you have helped us get to 100 on so many occasions. Yeah, we have a George Sisler / Pete Rose type streak going with the over 100 likes in a row in terms of games. I don't count the All-Star game because that's special. That was something else. But whatever the case might be, a ways to go before we reach DiMaggio territory. Rally 6. Let's go Cardinals. Won't that be something? Now let's get to 150 for Pete's sake. I like the way you're thinking, Justin Beasley. So due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's going to be Jordan Walker, Ivan Herrera, and Alec Burleson. So 2, 3, and 4. So far, David Peterson has thrown 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and the home run allowed to Jose Fermin. One of his best starts of the year so far for the former New York Met. I'd like to thank you all so much for your patience through the rain delay. And on top of that, spending part of your late Monday night evening with me here on Game Mike. And we're back to the action. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup with Jordan Walker against David Peterson. Now, the first pitch. A breaking ball well up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0 to Jordan Walker, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Now, the 1-0 pitch. Strike, sinker on the inner third. Challenge there by Jordan Walker. I don't think it's a good ABS challenge, but they're going through with it. ABS challenge incoming. Let's see. And it's confirmed a strike, and the count is 1-1. The Cardinals lose one of their 2 ABS challenges allotted in regulation. The Cubs have both of theirs. Now he winds and deals a slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. I think the thing we're all wondering about Jordan Walker is how did that home run derby affect him? Now the 2-1 offering. Strike, sinker on the outer third at the knees, and the count is 2-2. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. Everybody take a drink. Peterson's on the bump. He comes motion and deals. A sinker just misses the outside corner, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Walker is back into the box. 75 pitches so far for Peterson. He winds. He deals. Ball 4 on the sinker downstairs. So Jordan Walker works the leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here comes Ivan Herrera. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. Ivan Herrera tonight is 0 for 2. Jimmy Otero, Paul, something I really like about your call of each game is that you are equally excited about a play, regardless of who made the play. One moment on that, Jimmy. The first pitch to Herrera. A sinker downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. It's interesting that you put it quite that way, Jimmy. Well, first off, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Clearly, this is a Cardinals channel, and anybody who turned it on would know that. Undoubtedly, I'll get to the rest in a moment. Peterson from the stretch. The 1-0 pitch. Popped him up and behind home plate and out of play on the 4-seam fastball in. The count is 1-1. But that being said, I've never been a guy who as an announcer and a play-by-play guy who likes rooting the ball out of the ballpark, if you follow my thinking on this. Now, the 1-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the slider in. The count is 1-2 to Ivan Herrera. I mean, it's very obvious who I'm pulling for, no question. But I do think that something has to be offered when the other team does well. And in that way, I try to call it down the middle. Now, Peterson sets. The 1-2 offering. Foul down the third baseline and out of play on the sinker down and in. Correction, the slider. So I really do appreciate that, Jimmy Otero, because that is something I do aim for. Not that anybody has any question about where this channel sits, but I think it's part of calling a good game, at least in how I view it. Peterson from the letters. Runners lead off first. He deals. A 4-seam fastball up and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Oh, cool, Jimmy. You got what I'm saying. Yeah, I think it's important. Everybody has their own style of play-by-play, you know, and they're hard to compare, but that's how I've usually viewed it. Now the 2-2 offering. A sinker down and in and out of the zone. The count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ivan Herrera. He is back in the box. Peterson sets at the letters. Runner leads off first. The 3-2. Chop foul down the third base side. Now to play on the slider down and in. They keep working that slider down and in on Herrera. He managed to swing and miss once, but he's gotten a little piece of it each time. On deck is Alec Burleson. He's 0 for 2. Peterson is from the stretch. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Ivan Herrera. Yes, it would, Harold. No question. Now the home plate umpire is taking a little walk out there towards the mound. Something's going on here, and I don't know exactly what it is. What's happening here? So the umpires there, they are all kind of meeting and talking, and I can't quite figure out what they're talking about. Let's see here. They lost track of the count. It's 3-2. We didn't lose track of it. Justin Beasley never loses track of that. He's number 1 in the business. But the umpires at Busch Stadium, different story, folks. So this is just interesting. Oh, wow, they even took the count away on the score bug. Okay. So, who's supposed to be keeping track of this? This is an absolute clown show. I mean, it really is. Ollie's out there talking to the home plate umpire and the crew chief, who I think is the first base umpire. And apparently a strikeout because they lost track of the count? What is this garbage? Okay. So apparently, this has something to do with a timeout and Herrera stepping out of the box. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then there's the second one. It had to do with a timeout there. And, now here's Alec Burleson with one out. Here's the pitch. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Oh, that was an absolute clown show, folks. Oh, that was terrible. Coming sets Peterson. Runner on first with one out. The pitch. Slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Apparently, it had something to do with a second timeout that Herrera had called. I don't know what. Honestly, I'm having trouble keeping up with this. Throwing over to first, back in time with the head first slide is Jordan Walker. A snap throw there by Peterson. The count is 2-0 to Burleson. Oh, goodness. Infield defense shaded towards left in a modified double play depth. The 2-0 pitch. Hit to the right side. Picked up there by Nico Horter to his left. He throws to first in time to get Burleson for the second out. No chance at a double play. Moving from first to second is Jordan Walker. And now the Cards have a runner on second with two out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Clueless in St. Louis is right, Dodgeball. And it looks like the Cubs are going to the pen. Here comes Craig Counsell. They're going to Hollowell to face Mason Wynn. So here in the bottom of the sixth with the runner on second and two out, 5-1 Cubs, we have ourselves a pitching change. Oy, 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 folks. God. Sometimes. Clueless in St. Louis is right. Nobody knew what was going on there. Neither team knew what was going on there. That was kind of the amazing thing about it, is that neither team either knew what was going on either. The pitching change brought to you by Red Bull. Red Bull, it gives you wings. Thank you for that, Justin. That helps ameliorate the sting from that, clown car show we just saw. Speaking of the Tin Blue Devil here, let me take a drink. So, thank you all so much for enduring this clown show with me. It's 5-1 Cubs in the bottom of the sixth inning. Jordan Walker is at second with two out. Mason Wynn will be at the plate. Let me give you the numbers here. Gavin Hollowell, the 28-year-old right-hander, in 12 games this year, has a 0-0 record with a 2.08 ERA. Exactly 13 innings pitched and 13 strikeouts in that span. They have a whip of 1.23. So there's your story there on Gavin Hollowell. He will face Mason Wynn, who's 1 for 2. Now, the righty-righty matchup, the first pitch to win. A four-seam fastball down and away, ruled a ball, and it's an ABS challenge. So Carson Kelly puts in the ABS challenge. It's originally ruled a ball. Let's see. And it's overturned because it was a strike. Almost nothing but zone. Count is 0-1. Runner leads off second. Setting at the belt is Hollowell. The pitch. A sweeper well away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Hollowell sets. He deals. Hit on up the middle and through into center field for a base hit. Coming home is Jordan Walker. Here's the throw. Here's the play. And he is safe. Going down to second is Mason Wynn with a double. And that will cut it down to a 5-2 Cubs lead on the RBI double by Mason Wynn, or a single who advanced on the throw home. And that will cut it down to a 5-2 Cubs lead. An RBI single. Advancing to second on the throw was Mason Wynn. He gets himself back into scoring position. A fine piece of hitting there for Mason Wynn. He's now 2 for 3 with an RBI tonight. That's the second heads-up base running play he's had. The first one was a couple of innings ago when he tagged from first to second on a fly ball deep to left off the bat of Velasquez. Now, here is Brian Torres. He's going to pinch hit for Velasquez now that the lefty Peterson is out of the game. We have ourselves a mound visit here. The pitching coach is out there to give Hollowell a little bit of a talking to. Sounded like downstairs somebody dropped a safe. Or maybe above me, I don't know. Just as that hit came in. Maybe the two are connected. I do not know. Whatever the case is, I do know the count, which is 0-0. There's a runner on second with 2 out. Now here's Brian Torres, the 29-year-old rookie. Be a righty-lefty matchup. He is pinch hitting here for Velasquez. They are shaded towards the right field side on the shift with the lefty Torres up, who could be a very pesky hitter to his credit. He has shown a lot of utility here since he was called up. Now, coming sets Hollowell. The first pitch to Torres. A changeup away, and the count is 1-0. A 106 likes, 154 people watching. Nice job, Jordan. Now, the 1-0 pitch. And it gets away from the catcher. Carson Kelly goes all the way to the backstop, and it would appear to be a wild pitch. So moving from second to third on the ball there that got to the backstop is Mason Wynn. It's a 2-0 count. The pitch was obviously ruled a ball. And the Cardinals have a runner on third with 2 out. But in many ways, the situation remains very similar. With 2 out, he can only score on a hit or an error. Coming set is Hollowell, the 2-0. A four-seam fastball down and in, and the count is 3-0. Maybe it was John Cena. That wouldn't surprise me. That was quite a large bang up there. Hitting .213, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. The 3-0 pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball, inner third, thigh high. 96 miles an hour out of the right hand of Hollowell, and the count is 3-1. Hollowell looks in. Long and hard. Coming set at the belt. He deals. Strike, change up on the inner third at the knees. The count is 3-2 to Brian Torres. Yeah. We are of a like mind. I'm glad to hear that, John. He comes set to 3-2. Hit on out there in the right field. If it stays fair, it'll fall in. And it's in for a ground rule double and an RBI. And that will score Mason Wynn. And that will cut it down to a 5-3 Cubs lead on the ground rule double and RBI with 2 outs by Brian Torres. And the Cardinals have a runner on second with 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That thing looked like a changeup that was put down and in that classic lefty swing path. Brian Torres just steered it fair down the line, and it popped up into the stands. Cardinals are doing that Norway route on the top step of the dugout. Now here's Jose Fermin, righty-righty matchup. He's 1 for 2. The pitch. A sweeper down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Jose Fermin got the first Cardinal run of the night on a solo home run to left off Peterson. Common sets Hollowell. He deals. Check swing on the sweeper. Did he go around? Yes, says Blue down the first baseline. It's a strike on the check swing. Can't hold up, and the count is 1-1. A home run and a foul out for Jose Fermin, who's in center field tonight. Common sets Hollowell. He deals. A sweeper away. It's ruled a ball. Challenged by Carson Kelly behind the plate. So we have another ABS challenge incoming. It's probably a good challenge. Let's see. And it's indeed a strike. Just got the smallest piece of that corner down and in. And the count is now 1-2 strikes. So a runner on second with 2 outs. 1-2 count. Jose Fermin in the hole here to Hollowell. He comes set at the belt and deals. A sweeper down and away and over the lefty batter's box. The count comes even at 2-2. Infield defense almost straight away, playing way back. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Jose Fermin. Hollowell didn't realize it for about 2 seconds, went halfway into his motion when Fermin was about 3 feet out of the box. Then he had to stop. 13 pitches so far for Hollowell. Torres leads off second. Coming set is Hollowell. He deals. A 4-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-2 strikes. On deck is Lars Nootbaar. Coming set Hollowell. The 3-2. Hit on up the middle, picked up there by Nico Hornbein second. He throws to first in time to get Jose Fermin for the third and final out of the inning. However, the Cardinals, they push 2 across and strand 1 after 6 full innings of play. It is 5-3 Northsiders going to the top of the 7th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my Caller Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening, you haven't done so already, and you feel I deserve it, please leave a like. It's really helping this channel continue to grow, attract more Cardinal fans, baseball fans more generally, helping out fellow Cards fans. We're having a lot of trouble trying to follow this team day in and day out for a number of reasons, including the nice pile of cash they need to put out there for the 3 or 4 different subscriptions necessary to do so. And if you like what you see and hear, you haven't done so already, it's your first time here, you're loving it, you've been back many times, you're digging it, well, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 5-3 Cubs going top of 7. And a $1 super from Jeff Coleman. Thank you again, Jeff. That is so awesome. I cannot thank you enough for your generosity. It is remarkably appreciated. This is true, John George, they do. And to their credit. You know, it's something that's interesting. I was hearing a bit about this the other day. Why certain baseball fans hate Cardinal fans. And it's because of the whole title of being, you know, being anointed the best fans in baseball. Now, the title isn't wrong. I'm not saying that. But I find it interesting that it irks so many other fans of other teams. Cardinal fans, they're informed, they like good baseball, and they give credit where it is due. What's the problem there? I think it's just the winning. All right, we're back here for the top of the 7th inning. 5-3 Cubs. Due up here is Carson Kelly. Righty matchup. The pitch from Dobbins. Strike. Four-seam fastball outside quarter thigh high. And the count is 0-1. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the seventh inning. 5-3 Cubs. Carson Kelly is 2 for 3. A strikeout and a couple of singles. The pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Going back is Dupar. He's in front of the track and underneath it. He makes the catch for the first out of the top of the seventh inning. Well, thank you, Philip. I do appreciate that. Dobbins has thrown 43 pitches so far. Now, here's the lefty, Michael Busch. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup with nobody on and one out. He's 0 for 3, the first pitch. A sinker up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. They came in at 94 miles an hour at the right hands of Dobbins. Michael Busch, a strikeout looking, ground out into a double play and a ground out. The 1-0. A four-seam fastball well away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Joe Bring, there's always going to be haters, but I like the haters. Oh, Brother Joe, you're singing my language. The 2-0. A slider away, called a strike, and the count is 2-1. That was a generous strike. No one's challenging it. Nick, 110 likes, 184 people watching. He winds and deals. There's a fly ball out to right field. Coming over to his right is Jordan Walker. He's underneath it. He makes the catch in right center field for the second out of the inning. Michael Busch is now 0 for 4. Put out 9. So 2 out, nobody on, top of the seventh inning. Here comes Nico Horner, who's 2 for 3 with a run scored and a couple of RBIs. Now the first pitch. A sinker well up and in to Horner, and the count is 1-0. It's a righty-righty matchup. Dobbins closing in. Hey, there's John Jay, the outfield base running and quality control coach. The 1-0 pitch. A sweeper down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. What exactly does a quality control coach do exactly in baseball? I can see that more in the football setting. I mean, being a coach is all about quality control, regardless of the position or purpose. The 2-0. Strike, sinker on the inner third below the belt. The count is 2-1. It's just such corpo speak that really just seems to really mean very little. Now, he winds the 2-1. Hit on out there in the left field and in for a base hit. Picked up there by Nupar and left. So he has himself a 2-out single, and the Cubs have a runner on first with 2 out. Nico Horner now 3 for 4 tonight. He is having a heck of a ball game. Now here comes the left fielder, Ian Happ, who's 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Indeed, Harold. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off first. The first pitch. A slider just misses the outside corner. It's ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Ian Happ, strikeout looking, strikeout swinging, and a fielder's choice. Common says Dobbins at the birds. The pitch. A splitter up and away, ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. Happ is back into the box. Infield defense very much shaded towards right with the lefty Happ. The 2-0 offering. A curveball outside, easily ruled the ball. The count is 3-0. The Cubs have definitely feasted on 2 outs tonight, much to the chagrin of the St. Louis Cardinals. Now he sets at the stretch. The 3-0. Ball 4, so 4 out of the zone there by Hunter Dobbins. And the Cubs have runners on first and second with 2 out. Here in the top of the 7th inning, it is 5-3 Cubs. Long night here when you include the rain delay. Now here is Dansby Swanson, the shortstop. 1 for 3 with a single. Couple of strikeouts hacking earlier. Righty matchup. Runners lead off first and second. The first pitch. A sweeper well inside to Swanson, and the count is 1-0. Dansby Swanson dinners. If he really made it big. Setting up the birds is Dobbins. The 1-0 offering. Hit on out there to the left side. Picked up by Mason Winnett short. He throws to first just in time to get Dansby Swanson for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left on. After 6.5 innings of play, it is 7th inning stretch time down at Busch Stadium. It is 5-3 Cubs going to the bottom of the 7th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go to the chat. All right. And come to think of it, I think he should be wearing a high-vis vest with a big QC on the back. Not a bad suggestion. Not at all. Here we go indeed. So due up for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 7th inning is going to be Lars Nootbaar, Blaze Jordan, and J.J. Wetherell. 8, 9, and 1 in the Cardinal order. Nootbaar is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Blaze Jordan is 0 for 2. J.J. Wetherell is 1 for 3. We shall see where the Cubs go with their pitching decisions. Still showing Hollowell in the game. He has pitched a third of an inning, given up 2 hits, 1 run earned, no walks, no strikeouts, and of course no home runs. So we shall see there. Cardinals need to keep building on this, one way or the other. And we're just about back for the bottom of the 7th inning. Some late-night Cardinal baseball here in America's heartland. And this is brought to us by Rally House, apparently, which is actually not a bad establishment. I like Rally House. Really good for Cardinals caps, especially in the St. Louis area. 5-3 Cubs, bottom of the 7th inning. Coming up is Lars Nootbaar, Blaze Jordan, and J.J. Wetherell. And it appears we do have ourselves a pitching change. Ryan Rollison, the 29-year-old left-hander. He'll face 2 of the 3 due up here that are lefties. The first pitch. Strike, sinker on the outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. In 36 games this year, Rollison is 5-1 with a 2.70 ERA in 40 innings pitched, 40 strikeouts in that span. Now the 0-1 pitch. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. And a whip of 1.30. Lars Nootbaar 0 for 2, a foul out and a strikeout. Looking his last at-bat back in the 5th. He winds and Rollison deals. Swinging strike on the sweeper down and away, and the count is 1-2. The best compliment of a Cardinal player that I've ever heard. Here stands baseball's perfect warrior. He stands baseball's perfect knight. That would definitely describe him. Here's the pitch. A sweeper well away and out of the zone. The count is even at 2-2. Brother Joe, it's pretty nice outside right now, considering it was like 1,000 degrees today. Yeah, it was unbearable today. Jeez. Now, Rollison looks in. It's a 2-2 count. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the sweeper away for the first out of the inning. Down hacking goes Nootbaar. He is 0 for 3. Now, here comes Blaze Jordan. It'll be a lefty-righty matchup. The rook at the hot corner tonight is 0 for 2. Stan Musial, in so many ways, is the definition of the Cardinals' way. Now, coming right is Rollison, the pitch. A sinker up and away and out of the zone. 95 miles an hour out the left hand of Rollison, and the count is 1-0. He looks in and winds and deals. A four-seam fastball well inside to Blaze Jordan. The count is 2-0. Carson setting up outside. Rollison winds the 2-0 pitch. A four-seam fastball down and in and out of the zone. The count is 3-0. Joshua Baez, Lexus chops every time Newpar strikes out. It's going to be interesting to see where this all goes with him. Now the 3-0 offering. Ball 4, so Rollison puts 4 out of the zone, and he issues a one-out walk to Blaze Jordan. The Cardinals have a runner on first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Because, I mean, Joshua Baez offensively has been tearing up the pea patch down at AAA Memphis. And, you know, the scuttlebutt on him has everything to do with him swinging and misses at pitches in the zone. Now, here's J.J. Weatherall. He's 1 for 3. Lefty versus lefty matchup. The first pitch. A changeup down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Cheers to that, Harold. Completely agreed. 114 likes, 205 people watching. Hit that like button, everybody. Listen to 4 Life there. Here comes the pitching coach. Having a little chat there with Rollison on the bump. Yeah, 31 homers indeed. So, here's the thing on that, though, with the swing and missing in the strike zone. There's such a big jump between AAA and the majors. There is a legitimate worry that very talented and experienced Major League pitchers can find ways to expose him in that particular foible in his offensive game. But he's still so young, you figure that he can make the adaptation. He is potentially a 5-tool player, as I understand it. And there's not much more that he can accomplish down at AAA. All right, end of the powwow on the mound. Here comes J.J. Weatherall. 1 for 3, a single leading off the game. A ground out and a ground out. There's a runner on first with 1 out, 5-3. Cubs, the 1-0 pitch. Strike, sinker on the inside corner, thigh high, and the count is 1-1. Infield defense very heavily shaded towards right, with Alex Bregman playing up against the lip of the grass between second and third, equidistant. The 1-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the sinker down Broadway, and the count is 1-2 to J.J. Weatherall. Now, Rollison looks in. Blaze Jordan, he leads off first. He comes set above the belt. The 1-2 to Weatherall. Foul back on the sinker in. The count remains 1-2. It was right off the trademark there of our boy JJ, who is very much working on NL Rookie of the Year honors. Still can't believe he got snubbed from the All-Star game, but them's the breaks, folks. Coming set is Rollison. The pitch. Hit foul down the first base side and out of play, just spoiling off that sweeper, and a nasty one it was. Credit to Weatherall to getting a piece of that thing. The count remains 1-2. Now, we're going to see on Baez, depending on what happens at the trade deadline, might break up the logjam out there in the outfield, the big league club. Rollison sets and deals. Swinging strike 3 on the sinker upstairs for the second out of the inning. So J.J. Weatherall goes down hacking. He's now 1 for 4. Runner on first with 2 out. Here comes Craig Counsell. He's going to the bullpen. He is going to Thornton. So we have ourselves a pitching change with a runner on first and 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 5-3 Cubs. So they're bringing in Thornton here. Jeff Coleman, rally cap on, adult beverage in hand. Y'all, let's charge seats RN and get some runs. Yeah, that actually is a very interesting interesting stat. Back when pitchers hit. Our offspring from this point will not, in all likelihood, never see a game where the pitcher is in the 9-hole. Even though Tony La Russa was always interesting because he didn't always place the pitcher in the 9-hole. Occasionally he put him 8. I always thought that was an interesting idea. I'd be curious what his thoughts were on that. I think Matthews might be stepping up real soon to pitch. Interesting. Okay. This pitching change brought to you by Steve's Hot Dog. Try the Paul D Triple Chili Cheese Dog today. Yeah, absolutely. It is amazing. And Steve, if you're out there, I know you're out there somewhere. I'm waiting for the email. I'm waiting for the call. Let's do business together. So we're awaiting this pitching change. So they're going to the 32-year-old right-hander, Trent Thornton. In 2026 and 28 games, he has a 3-3 record with a 2.61 ERA and 31 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts in that span, and a 1.03 whip. He has a 51.6% ground ball rate. He inherits a runner on first with 2 out. That runner the responsibility of his predecessor. Righty-righty matchup. Here is Jordan Walker, who's 0 for 1. The first pitch. There's a fly ball to left field, going back, looking up, and it is caught against the wall, against the Amarin sign by Ian Happ for the third and final out of the inning. Oh, he sent that ball as far as you could go in that direction of the ballpark while still staying in, and that will do it. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 7 full innings of play, it is 5-3 Cubs going to the top of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Off the bat, I thought that was going out. Everybody did. Even Jordan Walker thought it was going out. You could tell. He was starting to admire it. Thank you. Oh, you and me both, Justin. Oh, woof, woof. I'm glad to hear that, John. I'm glad to hear that. That's really part of the fun of how baseball is done in this. Nick, I did it to Paul D. Perhaps so. Perhaps so. 2 up for the Cubs in the top of the 8th inning. It's going to be Amaya, PCA, and Suzuki, 9, 1, and 2 in their order. Amaya is actually having a pretty fine night. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI. PCA is 0 for 2 with a couple of walks and a strikeout. Suzuki's 1 for 4 with that double earlier and the run scored. He's also struck out. Still showing Dobbins in the game. Dobbins so far in 3 1/3 innings pitched. 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. I think Dobbins has earned himself a rotation spot at this point. Has he not? Has he not? I certainly think that he has. Paul D, Panera plug up a page, sir. Yeah, go to Panera at Mid-Rivers Mall. Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this question, Jeff. Is it actually Panera there in Mid-Rivers Mall, or is it St. Louis Baking Company? Now, the first pitch from Dobbins to Amaya. Strike, curveball on the inside corner, thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Top of the 8th inning, 5-3 Cubs. Now, the 0-1 from Dobbins. A sweeper down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Jeff Coleman with the $1 super. Jeff, you are far too generous. Thank you again. The 1-1. There's a fly ball into center field. Right there is Fairmean. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. No, seriously, Jeff, I really do appreciate it. But I am curious, though, Jeff. At Mid-Rivers Mall, is it Panera Bread or is it St. Louis Baking Company? Because if I'm going to plug y'all's store, I want to get it right. Now, here is PCA. Righty-lefty matchup. 60 pitches for Dobbins. Nobody on with 1 out, top of the 8th. The first pitch. A splitter down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. And once again, tarps off, turn their back to the man. They even have a big blue L flag. The 1-0. Strike, 4-seam fastball down Broadway at the knees. And the count is 1-1. If the zip is St. Louis Bread Company outside. Okay. That's good to know. Thank you. The 1-1 pitch. A four-seam fastball just away. He ruled a ball. The count is 2-1. Now he winds and deals. Strike, four-seam fastball inside corner thigh high. PCA is not at all enamored, but is not using a challenge. The count is 2-2. Okay. So Panera Bread at Mid-Rivers Mall. What are y'all waiting for? I'll take that up at some point. Dobbins looks in. He comes to the wind. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike three. Down, hacking goes PCA for the second out of the inning. So nobody on with two out here at the top of the eighth. 5-3 Cubs. Got to give credit to Hunter Dobbins. Every time they tap him on the shoulder, he's been coming through. Tuesday special is good at participation cafes. Here's the pitch. A four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 1-0. Tuesday special is good at all participating cafes. Cheers, Jeff. He winds the 1-0 offering. Swinging strike by Suzuki, who's 1 for 4, and the count is 1-1. Dobbins is looking in. He winds and deals. A splitter up and in out of the zone. The count is 2-1 strike. That is the 68th pitch for Dobbins tonight. Suzuki, a double, a foul out, a strikeout swinging, and reached on an error. The pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Going back is Newpar. He's in front of the track. He's underneath it. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. 1, 2, 3, go the Cubs, and we go to the bottom of the eighth inning. It is 5-3 Northsiders here in the first of 4 at Busch this week between these two clubs. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Okay, let's go to the chat. Well, one thing is for sure, the mission is clear for the Cardinals offensively here. They have a bit more territory to make up to try to stay in this game. I can't tell you how many times I have seen this kid's Cardinals fantasy camp commercial that they play constantly on Cardinals.tv. I would have given an appendage as a kid to be able to go and do something like that. Good to go, Doge Bowl. J.M. Jones. Too much good Italian and Bosnian bread here in St. Louis to mess around with Panera at the West River Mall. Like, hey, we're doing this for our friend Jeff Coleman. He manages it. Gotta look out for your people, man. I know there's plenty of good stuff here in St. Louis. Nick, 122 people like, 180 people watching. Hit that like button. Cheers to that, my man. So due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the eighth inning is Ivan Herrera, Alec Burleson, then Mason Wynn. And if they get there, Brian Torres, who's in at DH when he pinch hit for Nelson Velasquez. We're back for the bottom of the eighth. Now the first pitch. Strike from Thornton on the sweeper on the outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Herrera is 0 for 3. A foul out, a ground out, and a strikeout swinging. Thornton comes set. Righty-righty matchup. He deals. There's a fly ball out in the left field. Going back is Happ against the wall, and it's off the base of the wall. He basically feels the carom extremely well. Head first slide into second, and he is out at second on the play. Oh, Ivan Herrera tries to stretch it into a double, when in reality, Ian Happ actually fielded the carom extremely well. An excellent throw into second. A head first slide. And Ivan Herrera tagged out with the head first slide, trying to extend it into a double. He just hit it too hard. Really just an incredible job there, both by Ian Happ and Nico Horner, to get that right. Let's see it here on the replay. Yeah, he's definitely out. So that's the first out. Now here's Alec Burleson. Hit foul down the third base side now to play on the sweeper. The count is 0-1. Oh, that was disappointing. Alec Burleson, 3 groundouts. He's 0 for 3. Righty-lefty matchup. It's an 0-1 count. Nobody on with 1 out. The 0-1 swinging strike on the cutter upstairs, and the count is 0-2. I like the effort. Yeah. This is true. This is very true, Jeff. Now, coming set is Thornton at the letters. The 0-2 to Burley. A four-seam fastball up and away. It is a ball, and the count is 1-2. No, Ian Happ, very fine defensive effort out there and left. Now, coming set is Thornton. He deals. Hit to the right side, picked up by Horner on the ground. He throws to first in time for the second out of the inning. So Burleson grounds out for 3. That is his 4th ground out tonight. I believe they've all been to the right side. Now here is Mason Wynn. Mason Wynn has had a very fine night so far. He is 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Righty-righty matchup with nobody on and 2 out, bottom of the 8th inning. 5-3 Cubs. Thornton sets and deals. Hit on out there in the right field. Coming over is Suzuki. He makes the catch in right field for the 3rd and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks. Nobody left on. 1, 2, 3, go the Cardinals. It is a 5-3 Cubs lead heading to the top of the 9th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mic. 5-3 Cubs heading top of 9. Okay. Jeff, like is via your cell or mobile device. Help Paul D and the channel out, y'all. Find that like button, please, and thank you. I really appreciate that, Jeff. You've been extremely kind and generous, and I thank you for both. Now, it's interesting seeing Burleson go 0 for 4 on 4 groundouts. His average is certainly up over the last week, and he hit a double the other day off the base of the wall on Sunday, I believe, in right field. Maybe it was Saturday. I forget which one. I think it was Saturday. That was the premature home run call by yours truly. Luckily, he ended up scoring anyway. So 2 up for the Cubs in the top of the 9th inning. Bregman, Kelly, and Busch. 3, 4, and 5 in the north side order. Still showing Dobbins in the game, who's gone 4 to 3rd inning. 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned. 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. He's earned his rotation spot. I mean, at this point, what are we playing around with, right? I think the Cardinals bullpen is the only bullpen in baseball that can give up runs in the home half. You know what? When it's earned, it's earned. Now, the first pitch of Bregman. It is a ball. Count is 1-0, and here's the pitch. Strike, slider on the inner third below the belt. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Alex Bregman is 3 for 4 tonight. The 1-1 from Dobbins, fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bregman a double, a home run, a single, and a ground out. 72 pitches for Dobbins. He comes motion. The 1-2. Hit on out there in the right field and in for a base hit. Over towards the line is Jordan Walker. He picks it up. Going to second is Bregman, and he is in with a leadoff stand-up double for the Cubs here in the top of the 9th inning. They have a runner on second, nobody out. Hmm. 125 likes, 182 people watching. Let's hit that 150 tonight, chap. That would be a feather in our cap, no doubt. So Bregman leads off second. Stepping in is Carson Kelly. He's 2 for 4, the catcher and 4-hitter. The first pitch from Dobbins. A sinker inside. It's ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Carson Kelly, a strikeout swinging, a single, and a foul out. 2 for 4. Infield defense playing back and slightly shaded towards the left. He comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Foul back in the four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 1-1. On second is Bregman. From the stretch is Dobbins. He deals. Strike, sinker on the inside corner at the knees, and it's being challenged there by Carson Kelly. So there's an ABS challenging coming. It's going to be close. And it's indeed a strike, so the call is confirmed. The Cubs lose one of their 2 remaining ABS challenges in regulation, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner leads off second. Setting at the birds is Dobbins. He's at the stretch. He deals. A splitter just low on the inner third ruled a ball, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So I reckon Dobbins did get his start, but it just didn't happen until about the 4th inning. Now he sets at the bird. Setting up inside is Herrera. The pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Dupar is right there underneath it. He makes the catch for the first out. He throws on in. Bluffing toward third is Bregman. He stays right at second. So Kelly flies out 7 for the first out. Now here comes Michael Busch. He's 0 for 4 with a strikeout. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Runner on second with 1 out. The first pitch. There's a fly ball out to right field. Charging in is Walker. He makes the catch, tossing it back in. Right there is Alex Bregman at second. He isn't going anywhere. And that is the second out of the inning. So Michael Busch on 1 pitch flies out 9 for the second out. Now Nico Horner's coming up to the plate. He's had a heck of a night. 3 for 4 with a run scored and a couple of RBIs. It's a righty-righty matchup. This will be Dobbins' 80th pitch. He comes set at the stretch. And the first pitch. A curveball down and away and clear out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Oh, boy. Uncommon True Shop. I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Coming set is Dobbins. The 1-0. There's a fly ball out to left field. Going back is Newpar. Looking up, and it is gone. A 2-run home run to left by Nico Horner, and that will give the Cubs a 7-3 lead. Oh, that was an absolute no-doubter. Lars Newpar only went back a couple of steps and turned around out of professional respect for Hunter Dobbins, and that will make it a 7-3 Cubs lead. Oh, boy. Let's see exactly where this thing was in the zone. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was a sweeper on the inner third about thigh high, and it landed about 375 feet away. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike over the top of that splitter, down and away by Ian Happ. It's a righty-lefty matchup, and the count is 0-1. Nobody on, 2 out. 2 already in for the Cubs here in the top of the 9th. The 0-1 from Dobbins. A curveball just misses the outside corner. It's ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Happ gets back into the box. 0 for 3 tonight. Dobbins winds the 1-1 pitch. A sweeper just misses the outside corner, and the count is 2-1. Now Dobbins winds and deals. Hit out to left center field. Coming over is Newpar. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. However, The Cubs, they push 2 more across in the top of the ninth. They have a 7-3 lead. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Last lick for the Cardinals. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Well, that is a thing. 7-3 Cubs. They're trying to put it out of reach. We'll see. Due up for the Cardinals, last licks in the bottom of the ninth. Brian Torres, Jose Fermin, and Lars Nootbaar. So 6, 7, and 8 in the Cardinal order. They are down by 4. We will see where Craig Counsell goes for the ninth. Roger Bassman, come on, birds, break a Cubs fan's heart. I'd buy that. So I want to thank you all so much, Cards and Cubs fans alike, for spending part of your Monday night here with me on Game Mic for this call of the Cubs-Cardinals. We had ourselves a very fine, very proper rain delay that lasted about an hour 45. And that was a thing. It passed as quickly as it came in many ways. A programming note. Tomorrow night's game, the second game in this 4-game set between these two clubs, is scheduled for a 6:45 p.m. first pitch Central Time. I will be live here on Game Mic at 6:35 p.m. Central Time. Now here comes the righty Jacob Webb in 44 in the third innings pitch. A 2.84 ERA and a whip of 1.31. 5 saves in 9 opportunities. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup here with Brian Torres. Last at bat, he had himself an RBI double. Now the first pitch of Torres, fouled straight back of the four-seam fastball down Broadway, and the count is 0-1. One for one with that RBI double. He's hitting .224, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. The 0-1 pitch. A curveball just inside and low, ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Thank you for the salute, Uncommon True Shaman. Now, coming set. The 1-1. A changeup up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Harold, it is indeed a pleasure to spend my evening listening to you call games, Paul, and to chat with these very entertaining, knowledgeable fans. The 2-1. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball on the outside corner, and the count comes even. 2-2 to Brian Torres. Love you guys. Well, we love you too, Harold. Jeff Coleman with the $1 super. Thank you again, Jeff. A gentleman and a scholar. Now Webb sets the 2-2 offering. Called strike 3. Four-seam fastball whispers over the outside corner at the knees for the first out of the inning. So, Brian Torres goes down in the observatory for the first out. Shad's Comics and Beers. Yeah, I'm staying up to watch. Well, listen to this game well past my bedtime. Here is Jose Fermin. He's 1 for 3. Webb sets at the belt. The first pitch. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Paul D., you're an easy person to listen to. Keep up the good work, brother. Well, thank you so much, Shads. I really do appreciate that. Now, coming set is Webb. Righty-righty matchup. Nobody on with one out. The 1-0. A four-seam fastball down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Deja vu all over again. Indeed, Dwayne. Now the 2-0 pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball on the outside corner, thigh high. It was a rather generous call, but Jose Fermin is not going to bother with the ABS here. And the count is 2-1. Now Webb sets and deals. Strike. Four-seam fastball whispers over the black of the outside corner, thigh high, and the count is 2-2. Philip, believe it or not, I relax hearing you, Paul. I'm glad that I'm able to do that for you, even with the energy. Now Webb sets the 2-2. A slider down and away and out of the zone, and the count comes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the 9th inning. 7-3 Cubs here in the first of 4. It's a full count to Jose Fermin facing tonight's closer, Webb. Now the 3-2. There's a fly ball to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. And it is... What's the ruling? A foul ball. Oh, it was long, it was far, but it was just a little too far to the left. The count remains 3-2. Oh, I do enjoy comments like that. I do appreciate it. The 3-2 pitch popped him straight up there in the infield. Underneath it is Dansby Swanson calling for it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So Jose Fermin pops out 6 for the second out. And now the Cardinals are down to their final out. And stepping into the box is Lars Nootbaar. He's 0 for 3. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup with the righty Webb on the mound. Setting up inside is Carson Kelly. The first pitch to Newt. It hit into right center field and in for a base hit. It goes all the way to the wall. Playing it out there is Suzuki, and Nootbaar goes into second with a 2-out stand-up double here in the bottom of the 9th inning. A nice piece of hitting there by Lars Nootbaar. Jumped all over that pitch like a crow on curly fries. And that is a runner on second. Okay, all right. Now, here is Blaze Jordan in the first pitch. Hit on out there in the center field. Going over his PCA to his right. He makes the catch for the third and now final out of the game. It is a 7-3 Cub victory here in the first of 4 at Busch this week between these two clubs. 7-3 Northsiders is your final. I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your late Monday night here with me after that rain delay. Disappointing outcome, no victory tune because there is no victory. I will be back here tomorrow night. It is a 6:45 p.m. Central Time start, first pitch at Busch. I will be live here on Game Mike at 6:35 p.m. Central Time, back on camera for the first time in about 2 weeks. Very excited about that. So 6:45 p.m. Central Time is scheduled first pitch at Busch for Game 2. I will be here live on Game Mike on camera at 6:35 p.m. Central Time. Thank you all so much for spending part of your Monday night here with me. Harold, good night, guys. Good night, Harold. Zach, well, this sucks. The Cardinals have lost as many games as they've won. They are 500. Joe Breeding, thank you for the great broadcast, Paul. For you, anytime, Brother Joe. Jeff Coleman, night, y'all. Thank you, Paul D. You got it, Jeff. And thank you. Roger Bassman, great call as always, Paul D. Take care, chat. See ya. Be well, Roger. Doge Bowl. Thanks once again, Paul D. At least you are a winner every game. I'm going to screenshot that, Doge Bowl. Pull it up every time I need a pick-me-up. Well, Jimmy, great call, Paul. Well, thank you so much, Jimmy. Not too far away from Cowboys football. Well, that will do it, folks. 7-3 Cubs is your final in Game 1 of 4. I'll be back tomorrow night for Game 2, 6:45 p.m. Central Time. Scheduled first pitch at Busch. And I'll be live here on camera at 6:35 p.m. Central Time with the play-by-play stream. This has been a presentation of Bombers Game Mike. 7-3 Cubs is your final. I'm Paul D. Bombers Game Mike, over and out. Be well, both you and yours, wherever you may be. Thank you so much, Dwayne Smith. I'll see you all tomorrow night. 7-3 Cubs is your final. Sleep well, everybody.